They are ready, willing, and able in Waco, Texas. It's all about the Big 12. We begin at Baylor, where the nation's new #1, the Oklahoma Sooners, hope to beat down the Bears. Here's Bob Stoops. This is College Football Saturday Kickoff. The battle for the Big 12 trophy officially begins today, and it all culminates December 6th at Arrowhead Stadium.
Good morning, and thanks, Mike DeMarco. Good to be with you once again. All year long, we have promoted this league as being, Gary, the year of the quarterback, and we got two great examples here today. Everybody knows about Sam Bradford, but I don't know if they understand how good he has been. He's just been phenomenal this year.
He's been a great football player for his football team. He's a leader. There's no doubt about it. Just his sophomore season, his numbers are tremendous. And he's got great command of this offense, Bill, and he's got a lot of confidence. A big guy in the pocket. He does everything he needs to in his offense to make them click. 72% completions on the season, 16 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. He's having a remarkable season so far.
For Baylor, their hopes of an upset rely on their freshman quarterback, true freshman, Robert Griffin. Well known in these parts, but he's making a national resume.
Well, he's a guy that really gives a spark and really a hope here for Baylor and their football team. He's a dynamic, electric player. He's got great speed, great athleticism, and he's a guy who's going to make plays, not only throwing the football with his feet. I think he's a pretty accomplished passer, too. He's got 60% completions on the year, no interceptions for the young quarterback. That's a good number.
All right, huge challenge here today. We look forward to it here in Waco. Fellas?
The hottest freshman QB in the Big 12 takes on the #1 team in the nation.
College Football Saturday, cheering across the town. Coach laying down the law now. We will score a touchdown, and the crowd goes wild. Our boys having their fun. The game ain't over till the dirty job is done and won. Born to play, get busy, take it to the house, gonna get the job done. The pass isn't working, so we'll get 'em with the run.
#1 Oklahoma battles Baylor. Big 12 college football is next.
Welcome to Big 12 College Football Saturday and the KFC Big 12 Game of the Week. Today it's the nation's #1 team, the Oklahoma Sooners, in Waco at Floyd Casey Stadium to take on the Baylor Bears, the Big 12 Conference opener for both ball clubs. Hello, everyone. I'm Bill Land along with Gary Reasons. Glad to have you with us. After upset Saturday a week ago, Oklahoma is the new #1. Huge challenge for Baylor, 2-2, vastly improved, Gary. Art Briles, the first-year head coach, has found a quarterback in true freshman Robert Griffin.
Well, Robert Griffin is an exceptional athlete. That's the first thing you look at when you see this young man play. You know, just the numbers that he's done so far this season, pretty impressive. He'll do it with his feet and throwing the football. No interceptions on the year. Good decision-making that he's done so far this season.
And to take a look at him, he is a true dual threat.
He really is. He'll take the pounding from the defense and he'll run the football. He's got an accurate throwing game, and I think he makes good decisions with the football, but he's a guy that makes a spark. You take a look here against Wake Forest early in the season. This is the first signature run of Robert Griffin's young career, and I tell you, everyone here at Baylor, they took notice. He gives them the hope they need for the football team.
And so far, mistake-free with that 0 INT. He'll need to have an afternoon like that today to handle this Oklahoma Sooner team. Gary, you were in Norman last week. They blew out a top 25 TCU. They did it early and often, 35-10. Sam Bradford leading the way.
Well, no doubt about it. Sam Bradford is the leader of the Oklahoma Sooners, and him offensively, he's a great, smart quarterback. Just a sophomore now. He's 15-3 in his career as a Sooner quarterback. 4-0 this season, looking to go to 5-0 to lead this team. He's efficient with the football, great decision-making, and he's a talented player as well.
Yeah, and just a sophomore. What a terrific talent. Oklahoma offensively, their numbers, well, we got to show you a graphic because they just blow you off the board.
Oh, really, the things that they do offensively is just tremendous. You just look at the things they do. Points per game, almost 50 points a game. And look at that, 6.9 yards per play. This is a tremendous offense. They really ramp it up, or they give their defense a lot of rest out there because they score almost at will.
One of 6 Big 12 teams that are ranked, and they're all going against unranked teams today. Can the Big 12 survive all the upset bug that has been going around? Stay with us. It'll be great here today as Oklahoma, the new #1, taking on the Baylor Bears in our KFC Big 12 College Football. Football Saturday Game of the Week. Floyd Casey Stadium. Number 1 Oklahoma and the Baylor Bears at 2-2 on our KFC College Football Saturday Big 12 Game of the Week, as the Bears are led on the field by a couple of Olympians, Reggie Witherspoon and Jeremy Warner. They'll need an Olympic-type effort to pull off a major upset here today. Art Briles, though, is slowly changing things here in the Brazos Valley. He's got them at 2-2. They played a tough non-conference schedule, coming off a loss to a top 25 UConn. Had a week off to heal their wounds, which they needed to do, Gary.
Yeah, I think they need to kind of tighten things up here a little bit. Just kind of get in the groove and give them an extra week to prepare for the conference opener. That's always a good thing, especially against the number 1 team in the country.
Sanders and Lamar will return the kick as Bob Stoops' team won the coin toss and deferred. They will start off kicking off. Stoops in his 10th season. His numbers are as mind-boggling as his team's offense this year, with 101 victories in his 10th season. And the defending Big 12 champions and the new number 1 into the end zone. It is bobbled, and they will down it there as Sanders gets the advice from Lamar. And that means Baylor will have it 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line.
A little surprised here that the Sooners elected not to go on offense as well as they played last week, start against TCU in that football game. But going to have Baylor coming out on offense first, and that means Robert Griffin.
KFC provides the starting lineups. Robert Griffin, you see the numbers there. Dual threat, obviously, with a 7 and 5 as far as the TDs produced. No interceptions so far. He didn't start the opener, but he was very impressive in the loss to Wake Forest, and it's been his job since. And he completes this one to Geddes to the 25 and out of bounds. Picks up 5 or 6. We'll see where they spot the football, as it'll be 2nd down coming up. Geddes is a big play threat. His 12th reception of the year. He picks up 5 on that play. KFC with the rest of the starters. Jason Smith, the guy they're talking about to go high in the NFL draft. It's a veteran group. It's a solid bunch. Finley, Smith, White, Wright, a freshman, their leading receiver with 15 grabs, 185 yards. Griffin, incomplete, picked off, but out of bounds. As Oklahoma was right there in tight quarters, Brian Jackson defending, and Wright, the intended receiver. Defensively, we'll take a look in a moment.
Good job here by the quarterback getting outside, trying to elude the rush, almost got away, and almost an interception there. Brian Jackson got his hands on the football, but falling out of bounds.
Oklahoma took advantage of 4 turnovers last week and took care of TCU while Baylor was idle. Now we're set up here in a 3rd down and 5 for the Bears from their own 25. Good protection, incomplete, right off the hands of Brad Taylor, the sophomore receiver. And now let's take a quick look at the KFC defensive starters for the University of Oklahoma. They gave all those guys game balls last week for their effort against the Horned Frogs of TCU up front. The linebackers, Ryan Reynolds is healthy and is becoming a star. Lewis is a young guy that has really come out to excite people early. Franks, Harris, Holmes, and Jackson in the secondary. Bob Stoops says they're vastly improved in that area from a year ago as well.
Yeah, we'll talk about keys in this football game. One of them that I'm going to point out is no 3 and outs for Baylor offensively, but that's exactly what happened here for Oklahoma starting this game. They stopped Baylor. They weren't able to convert that 3rd down.
Epperson the punt. Derek, a sophomore out of Southlake, Texas from Keller High School. And Dominique Franks making the catch. And a 33-yard punt. OU playing field position early, Gary. Their defense does the job. Look where they get the football.
That's exactly right. And Coach Stoops talked to us about that. And we'll take a look at Sam Bradford coming on the field, the sophomore quarterback. Look at the numbers, Bill, in his career, or what he's done there. 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Pretty good stuff last week against TCU.
And he is number 3 in the nation in passing efficiency. The Big 12 quarterbacks dominate all the national stats. Here's Bradford on a 1st and 10. Incomplete on the Baylor sideline. KFC bringing you the starting lineups for today's ball game. Lamb was putting pressure that time on the quarterback. Let's take a look now at the rest of the offensive unit up front. This is a load, no pun intended, with Loadhold, Robinson, Cooper, the real leader at the center position. DeMarco Murray, their outstanding tailback, leading them in rushing at 335 yards a game. Murray the carry on the 2nd down play. Leon Freeman making the tackle.
Well, offensively, Oklahoma does the up-tempo offense. They bring the play in from the sideline, and everyone just goes to the line of scrimmage, and they can go immediately. if the defense is trying to substitute, or they can go at their own pace.
3rd and 5 for Bradford and the Sooners. He's got time, and he's got Manny Johnson. Watch out. No one will catch him. Touchdown, Oklahoma. Johnson picking up where he left off a week ago.
Well, it was 2 deep zone coverage that time by Baylor in the defensive secondary, and the safety who was back there kind of was looking in the backfield, didn't expand to the side of the defense. On the right side here, you're going to see a defender in the flat who's got that weak flat, but there's nobody deep over the top, and I know that cornerback was expecting help over the top with the safety, just wasn't there. Manny Johnson, another big touchdown to go after what he did last weekend.
Big 12 Player of the Week last week. We didn't have time to tell you about that, with 206 receiving yards, an OU record, and he had 3 touchdowns of 55 plus. The kick is good by Stevens. The Sooners dominate early, 7-0 with 1:10 gone. College Football Saturday is presented by KFC and the KFC $10 Challenge. Life tastes better with KFC. And brought to you in part by FreeCreditReport.com. You know your credit score? You can find out right now, instantly and online at FreeCreditReport.com. And by Best Buy. You happier. Well, the OU fans are buzzing over that fella, Manuel Johnson, as he takes one 53 yards, a Texan from Gilmer, and OU leads it 7-0 on the pass play from Bradford to Johnson, and the Sooners are set to kick it off again. Nicely done that time as it sails out of the end zone and will be 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. And a flag thrown back near the kickoff site. Let's wait and see exactly what they've got there.
Number 6 of the kicking team. 5 yards will be added to the end of the run, which will be the 20-yard line. Put the ball on the 25, first down.
Offsides on Oklahoma. Now, last week, Manuel Johnson earned Big 12 Player of the Week honors for this performance.
3 touchdowns, 3 long touchdowns from Sam Bradford in the football game, and he got behind the TCU defense repeatedly, and guess what? Started out this ball game here against the Baylor Bears doing much the same thing. Excellent job throwing the ball down the field, and Manny Johnson's got some wheels now. He's got speed. They're going to have to contend with him today. It's a talented offensive receiving core for the Sooners.
Yeah, those TD receptions, 76, 55, and 63 yards. A new Oklahoma record with a total of 206 yards receiving. They're going to re-kick this now because of that penalty against Oklahoma. Special teams have not been a big highlight for the Sooners yet. Now, that time, Moreland kicking off, got a tremendous kick, but they had the penalty, so he's booting from the 25 this time.
And in the ballgame last week against TCU, kind of a poor kick coverage unit went out there, allowed TCU to get great field position, allowed 3 points on the drive, but that's something Bob Stoops is concerned with. He wanted to get consistency in the kick game, in the kick coverage game.
Matthew Moreland's kick this time into the end zone. They bring it out and taken to the 25-yard line, so pretty fair trade-off that time, as Lindy Holmes makes the tackle for Oklahoma. And now Baylor starts again, Gary, but 13:44 on the clock, and you're down 7-zip.
Well, I talked about the offense here for Baylor. They've got to come out and they've got to control the line of scrimmage. They've got to protect their quarterback, and they've got to get some first downs. They've got to find a way to move the football against this OU defense. Hey, it's a tremendous defense. The defensive front four, we talked a little bit about them at the start. They're playing at a high level, getting off blocks, and they'll do a good job in the run game as well. They can also put pressure on a speedy quarterback, which Robert Griffin is.
Finley picks up about 5 as we take a look at our Armani scouting report here. You're talking about Baylor and what they need to do for the upset. Clayton made the tackle that time.
Yeah, no 3 and outs. That's being productive offensively. Get you some first downs, move the football. And I think they've got to win the special teams game. I think they've got to win the field position battle with Oklahoma. I think they have an opportunity to do that. Those are a couple of things that would be critical for them today.
2nd and 5. Play action this time out on the flat, and it is complete, and a first down Baylor. Good movement that time as a flag is thrown. Clayton makes the tackle. Scranton the receiver.
Yeah, nice play design here, thrown it all the way to the outside and have your inside receiver block out to take the cornerback out of the play, and then he run right behind him. Might get a face mask here at the end of this play. Officials discussing it and trying to figure out what's going on.
There is no foul on the play. The original flag was for a face mask call. However, the tackler did not pull and twist the face mask. First down.
So a 10-yard pickup will stand.
Well, he picks it up, picks the flag up. I think if it's not there, it's a good block to the outside to allow him to get up the field. And I didn't see a face mask in there at all, did you?
Yeah, and as a result, Baylor's happy with it anyway. So first and 10, the ball on the 40. Gary, you're talking about no 3 and outs. To me, one of the most amazing stats this year in college football is Missouri, with Chase Daniels in the game, has not had a 3 and out in their first 4 games of the season.
Wow.
I mean, that Big 12 and the power in this league is amazing offensively. We'll have a chance to develop that a little bit as the day goes on, with 3 teams ranked in the top 5 and 4 teams ranked in the top 8 nationally.
Yeah, and here you see what Baylor's trying to do a little bit offensively. Jay Finley's giving them a pretty good running attack, getting back almost 80 yards a ball game, and what he's averaged per carry is pretty impressive, 8.1 yards per carry. So he and Robert Griffin are the running attack for the Baylor Bears.
Yeah, as he is 7th in the league in rushing per game. And a quick hitter this time, and Baylor getting a little tempo now. Travis Lewis makes the play defensively as the Bears go to Thomas White. White, a senior out of Plano, Texas.
And this is adjustment at the line of scrimmage by Griffin. He sees a defender out there. He can get a blocker on him and throw that little screen behind him, try to get some positive yards. So it brings up a 3rd manageable here.
3rd and 4. Griffin finds his man right down the sideline, cuts it back across the 40 and down near the 36-yard line. Kendall Wright, a freshman out of Pittsburgh, Texas, and another true freshman. What a combo these guys may end up being.
Well, they're a complementary pair, but I think that this whole football team is really starting to take the attitude of their head coach. Art Briles brings a new swagger to this football team. Hey, when we talked to him this week, he had a great amount of confidence about his system. He was confident about his players, and he feels like that when they're on, they can compete and they can win football games, especially here in the Big 12.
1st and 10. OU territory at the 35-yard line, they call it. Griffin scrambles here and throws it to the sideline, incomplete. Avoids the hit as Adrian Taylor was pressuring him. Taylor, a sophomore from Mansfield, Texas. Some people think, Gary, all right, OU's #1. They got Texas next week. They'll overlook Baylor. When you have as many Texans on their roster like Taylor and these guys, I think that problem is minimized.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. They're going to come in, and Oklahoma is focused for this football game. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I don't think Coach Stoops, knowing what happened last Thursday with USC in their football game against Oregon State, would allow his football team to enter any contest on a flat nature. And I don't think there's any chance of that today. They know what they're up against.
This one nearly picked off as Griffin was pressured again. Gerald McCoy leading the way, the sophomore out of Oklahoma City.
You know, one of the things that the defense for Oklahoma has prided themselves on the last couple of weeks, they haven't allowed a touchdown build to the 4th quarter, and almost an opportunity here for an interception here. See Travis Lewis coming downhill and almost got his hands on it.
Turnovers have become bigger than ever, I think, in college football with the spread offense and the way teams are able to go up and down the field, and defenses kind of getting dizzy these days. Both these teams have done well in the turnover margin categories. 3rd and 10 here. Griffin steps through, escapes 2, and then goes down near the 31-yard line as Oklahoma collapsed quickly. Keenan Clayton was there to make the stop, a junior out of Sulphur Springs, Texas.
And he's done a good job for the linebacking position for the Sooners. What he does on Robert Griffin is he breaks down and doesn't give him a 2-way go. And so when he's there, he realizes he's not going to outrun Keenan Clayton. He's got pretty good wheels. He's a strong safety type player at linebacker with speed.
4th and 6 from the 31. Baylor to go for it. Griffin in trouble. OU collapses, and they've got him again. This time he is sacked on the 38-yard line. Travis Lewis leading the way, the weak side linebacker. Lewis, their leading tackler, coming in with 33 tackles. Give him credit for his 4th sack of the season.
Just bringing pressure and bringing more that the Baylor Bears can block. So overall, pretty good effort there by Oklahoma defensively. Watch the right side of your screen. You see the little twist there go underneath, and good job of continuing to the quarterback. Robert Griffin just trying to find a place to get through there. Nowhere, no opening there in that front.
1st and 10, Oklahoma taking over on downs from the 37-yard line. Bradford hands it off. Murray He finds a bit of a hole and sneaks across the 40-yard line. Armani with our scouting report for the Oklahoma Sooners.
Well, for this football team, I think offensively play up-tempo. Play fast, play excited, play with enthusiasm. Use what you have in the football game as far as take what the defense gives you, run the football, throw the football. And defensively, we're seeing it already. They've got to contain Robert Griffin. Don't let him expose some weaknesses with the defense outside of the tackle box.
And they did that on the last possession. And the handoff to Clapp, and he takes it for a first down to the 47-yard line. Leon Freeman makes the stop.
And there's nothing wrong with getting Big Mac Clapp the football, 6'3", 235-pounder. He'll give you a little downhill run and be a powerful runner out there as well. So now a running first down for Oklahoma. Haven't seen a lot of those in the last couple of ball games.
First and 10, ball on the 47, play action. Bradford got great protection, and it's complete to Iglesias. Iglesias, a spin. Oh my, still going, and then brought down at the 22-yard line. Joaquin Iglesias from nearby Killeen, Texas. A flag is thrown. Williams made the tackle for Baylor.
Yeah, we're going to get a block in the back by Manny Johnson. He came back to try to help out. Iglesias tried to get a block for him.
Illegal block in the back. Number one in the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, first down.
Yeah, this is very obvious. You're going to see Manny Johnson come downhill from the left side of the screen. And, you know, Iglesias trying to make something happen on the sideline here, making people miss. But right here around the 25-yard line, just watch the block in the back right there on Manny Johnson. That's not going to be missed by the officials. But yet they still mark it from the spot of the infraction. So it's still a first down and a big play for Oklahoma's offense.
Yeah, but had it gone without a flag, been a 31-yard pickup. Instead, the line of scrimmage is now the 33, but as Gary mentioned, first down Oklahoma, up 7-0. They scored on their first possession on a 53-yard TD pass, Bradford to Manuel Johnson, in case you were not with us. Here is Murray, cuts it back. Murray shows some power go along with that elusiveness as he bows his head down to the 28-yard line. Williams the stopper there. And let's take a look at KFC's defensive lineup for the Baylor Bears. Leon Freeman, a ex-Army guy, spent 3 years in the service and some time in Iraq. He knows what tough's all about. Pavelic, the leading tackler on the club. And we'll get to the secondary here in just a moment as OU again keeps it on the ground. Pavelic making the stop.
Yeah, Pavelic's been a pretty active linebacker for the Baylor Bears the last couple of seasons. He actually leads the Big 12 in total tackles per ball game, getting 12 per contest. So he's going to be in the mix all day if Oklahoma continues to try to run the football.
Third down and 4 for the Sooners at the 27. Murray got the first down easily to the 20-yard line. DeMarco Murray, 2 100-yard games this year, 124 against Chattanooga and 100 against Washington.
Yeah, and it's just power for the offensive line here. Run the old zone play and allow the tailback, in this case Murray, get the football deep, read the line, read the blocks, see where you can get a hole there. And he just takes it up north and south, and good possession there for the Sooners, moving the football on the ground.
Earl Patton, the tackler for the Sooners, first and 10 on the 20. Bradford again, great time, and drills it inside the 10-yard line. It'll be a first and goal, and Tyrius Bryan makes the tackle on an 11-yard pickup to Iglesias.
Well, when you see the quarterback stepping back there, Sam Bradford throwing the football with accuracy, and you see the numbers there offensively. When they get in the red zone, just perfect for Oklahoma, 19 of 19 this season.
Here's Brown getting his first carry. Wrestled down, see where they mark it near the sideline there. At the 6, I believe, maybe the 5-yard line. Chris Brown, a junior out of Alexandria, Louisiana. Murray, Brown, and Moses Madu average 183 yards per game between them. Bob Stoops says, I like spreading the carries out. We like to wear people down. I don't want to wear down my running backs. It's a long football season, and it's worked so far.
Chris Brown is their guy inside the 10-yard line. They like to get it to him. He's got 5 touchdowns on the year. There's an interception. Oh, my
Pavelic with an INT at the 10 and out of bounds. A flag is thrown. Joe Pavelic took it right off the goal line. Let's await the official's decision on the penalty.
Well, that would be Pavelic's 3rd interception. You see the linebacker right here. He's going to be right in the lane of the throw and just jumps up and gets him. Manny Johnson there behind him.
The ball will be placed on the 2-yard line, first down.
Wow, I think that play, That penalty was actually after the ball was already intercepted. I'm surprised that they're calling that penalty because there was no contact in the secondary by the defensive back. I think it was Joaquin Iglesias coming around the back of the end zone there, the intended receiver.
So a huge flag here for Art Briles' crew, because obvious. OU going in to score. We show you they're perfect in the red zone. You got a chance to stop them, gain a little momentum, get the football back, and the penalty brings it all back and makes it 1st and goal to go from the 2-yard line.
Yeah, that's not a reviewable play, folks. If you're thinking, why is it not being reviewed if you're a Baylor fan? But it's been called here against Baylor defensively for the interference and allows the Sooners to get great field position and punch them in for the score.
DeMarco Murray scampers in his 4th TD run of the season. And Murray, a sophomore out of Las Vegas, makes it 13-0 Oklahoma, 7:38 on the clock.
Yeah, just power I run the ball downhill behind the big offensive line. Plenty of room there to get in. All set up by the penalty in the end zone, trying to cover cover Joaquin Iglesias, and the penalty thrown brought the ball in there to the 2-yard line.
So Jimmy Stevens, redshirt freshman out of Oklahoma City for the PAT. And is good. He is 28 of 30 on the season. He's hit his first 2 today, and the Sooners, with a big crowd following them down here in Waco, up 14-0. Oklahoma 14-0 for the #1 ranked Sooners over Baylor. DeMarco Murray getting it done there after the penalty brought the ball back to the Sooners. 2-yard run, and one of the top 5 rushers in the Big 12 gets his 4th rushing TD of the season.
And Oklahoma on that drive coming out, deciding to run the football, doing it demonstratively along with DeMarco Murray. Chris Brown getting a little taste of getting the football, but a good job running the ball overall.
Geddes is deep along with Lamar this time to return the kick. Matthew Moreland and Tulsa kick it off here. Down about the 1. Brought down at the 21-yard line. Let's check in with Mike Goldberg and a little game break.
Bill Land, why should we be surprised? Already another upset brewing in the Big 12. Number 16 Kansas at Iowa State. Cyclones, 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns. Arnott has not thrown an incompletion yet. Iowa State leads 14-0. And don't forget, Oklahoma fans, you can watch your arch rival, number 5 Texas, later tonight, right here at Colorado. Bill.
All right, thanks. Around the Big 12, seeing these teams go head-to-head, the 6 ranked teams against the unranked. But in college football these days, you almost expect somebody to get bumped off, don't you, Gary?
Well, there's so many quality teams, and these teams, they really ramp it up for these ranked teams especially. We got 6 going against 6 here in this conference in the Big 12 today, so there's plenty of incentive to play for. And I know Gene Chisholm with that football team at Iowa State, they need to make a statement of a little more identity, kind of blend in with what's going on in the Big 12.
You see that note there about how tough KU's been. Speaking of tough, what a hit.
Brian Reynolds.
Woo! Reynolds made the tackle in the last play, said, hey, you didn't mention my name, Bill. Bang!
He may not be 100% off that leg injury he had a couple seasons ago, but this is pretty good contact right here.
I saw it. I heard you, Ryan.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's there. He came to play. That defense unit for Oklahoma, I think last week against TCU, really shined in the football game. Doing so again today. They've got their their work cut out for them. They've got to contain quarterback, and he can make a play just about any time with his feet.
Griffin in trouble here. Will have to use those feet. Trying to beat one man. Coming back on his 5 and throws it away. Robert Griffin. Well, Oklahoma, not that that's been the intent, but their first 4 opponents, the quarterbacks left every game.
And remember, that's only 4 guys that are going after the quarterback right there, and Robert Griffin's running sideline to sideline. And those 4 defensive linemen are very athletic up front. You had Adrian Taylor in there, and Cordero Moore, Jeremy Beal, and Austin English, all 4 of them tracking down that speedy quarterback.
Epperson had a 33-yard punt the first time. Derrick is a sophomore and averaging 43.5 a kick. That is second in the Big 12. Shanks this one, though, and goes out of bounds. Oh, my. Oklahoma going to get a nice break here. See where they spot this football. We'll sort it out when we come back. Sooners in control. give him a helmet and some pads. Baylor needs some superhero help here.
They got some superpower on the sideline. Maybe they can get him in the ballgame.
It has been Oklahoma true to form. They have slapped Baylor around 14-0, and now after a 12-yard punt, OU on the 31 of Baylor on a 1st and 10. And here is Johnson again. And he shows that not only is he fast, he's also tough to bring down in traffic as Manny Johnson picks up 16 before Burke tackles him. First down markers brought to you by Overstock.com. Your entire order ships just $2.95 at Overstock.com. Overstock.com at home with the O. 1st and 10 at the 15. Coming around is Broyles at the 10, and the freshman, redshirt freshman out of Norman, Ryan Broyles. He's already got 3 touchdowns this year. Carries it near the 8 before Hardiman makes the tackle.
Well, he's an exciting player. They want to get his hands on the ball, just bring him around the edge here and see if he can outrun the Baylor defense. He gets the first wave there, but the second wave not getting by them.
And then OU quickly on the ground as Brown takes it to the 5. Gary, you were on the field last week. I know you were really impressed with the tempo that OU set in that game in the win over TCU.
Yeah, the game, they started out very fast. That's why I was talking about why didn't they take the football, because it worked well for them. Make a statement. Go on the road, make a statement, but they didn't have to because their defense responded. They got decent field position, punched it in. Both times they've had the football, Oklahoma's put touchdowns on the board so far in this ball game.
Looking for a third, and Brown is stopped by that Baylor line this time. Picks up a yard or so, and Antonio Johnson, a sophomore linebacker from here in Waco, with a stop. He had a career-high 9 tackles in their last outing up at UConn. Really knocked off the top 25 Huskies. There are 2 wins over Northwestern State and Washington State. Brown, and this play will be brought back as whistles before get underway.
Again, going no huddle, quick offense here, quick tempo, trying to get the Bears a little bit out of alignment there. I didn't see an offensive problem there as far as the formation or anything that would be offensive. This may be against Baylor not being onside.
There is no foul on the play. Oklahoma substituted a player, which allows Baylor an opportunity to match up. We'll replay second down.
There's your explanation.
Now, if they bring one on, then the defense can bring one on as well. But nonetheless, Oklahoma went up tempo, got to the line of scrimmage, and punched that ball in the end zone. And you had Baylor standing up. Their defensive linemen weren't in a stance to take on the offensive line blocks.
Something got to sort out with those new clock rules. Second down and goal to go from the 3. Brown finds a hole. Did he squirt in? No signal yet.
Now, the far line judge is calling him down just short of the goal line, but see the kind of authoritative run. Chris Brown likes to run downhill, and look at his pads low. He's a powerful runner. He's a back that's of the 3 running backs, he is the most physical guy with the football.
Brown 2 years ago here in an OU win, 24 carries, 169 yards against Baylor. 3rd and goal, and Bradford himself in for the touchdown. So Sam Bradford gets his first TD, or second TD on the rush, and Oklahoma bumps it to 20-0.
Not a bad call there to go behind your left side. Your big guys, Duke Robinson and Phil Lowhold on the left side of the Sooners line, and Sam Bradford punches it in there. Nice, easily there. The linebackers can't even get to him.
Bradford threw for 1. Now he scores 1 himself. Stevens will come on for the PAT. Look at Sam, one of the multiple Heisman candidates out of the Big 12. We'll get into that a little bit as we go along today. And Stevens knocks this one through. So Oklahoma, number 1, no problem. They lead it 21-0.
Pick up the ball.
The kickoff to get us in the end zone, and he bobbles it, and then we'll down it there. Welcome back to KFC's Big 12 College Football Saturday. Sam Bradford scoring his 2nd touchdown of the year. First today, and the Sooners with a comfortable 21-0 lead. 6-play, 31-yard drive after a poor punt gave Oklahoma excellent field position.
Yeah, now if you take a look at Baylor here offensively, they've got to move the football. They've got to find a way to do something against this Sooner defense and keep their offense out there on the field. Too much pressure being put on the Baylor defense, both in the kicking game with poor field position, and the offense not converting any first down.
Handoff here, and not much doing for Jay Finley. as Ryan Reynolds is there. Well, Art Briles told us yesterday, he said it's one of those pick your poison deals with Oklahoma. He said you're going to try to milk the clock a little, get your running game going. You try to hit some quick hitters in the passing game. He said they're so sound defensively, it's very difficult.
You take the pressure off the quarterback, Robert Griffin, by handing off to Finley and company and trying to throw those quick passes. But Ryan Reynolds did a nice job there at the middle linebacker spot, just filling the hole, making a good clean tackle.
Griffin keeps it this time as he faked on the pass. And Reynolds is again there to chase him out of bounds.
You know, the thing that this Oklahoma front has, it's got speed. Austin English there, the first to contact Robert Griffin. Then you have Ryan Reynolds helping him get out of bounds. But the defensive front, both the defensive ends for this team, you take Austin English and you take Jeremy Beal on the edges here for Oklahoma. They can contend with all these speedy quarterbacks in the Big 12.
Baylor 1 of 4 on third downs, and they're 45% on the year. 1 of 4 today. 3rd and 5 from their own 25. Whitaker the man, or the right, the man in motion. And then the pass is incomplete.
They're trying to get it to Brad Taylor on an inside little screen there. Ball well overthrown. So just miscues here, misfiring by Baylor offensively. And the punt team comes on once again. Poor success last time by punter Derek Epperson. That punt, he's averaging, Bill, he's the #2 punter in the Big 12, averaging 43.5 yards per punt. Uncharacteristic the last time out on the field.
Yeah, and again here with the wind in his face. This time he gets a good kick. Franks is the deep man. Nice catch by Dominique Franks to save him some yardage there as he grabs it at the 33-yard line.
Now we talked about miscues by Baylor, and obviously you can't do these things. You drop footballs and have a chance to convert a first down. Drop the pass there. Now the interception. Not your way because of the penalty in the back, the end zone.
Sets up a TD and then a 12-yard shank punt. And that set up the last touchdown by Bradford. So OU's good enough. You give them breaks, you'll get demolished. 1st and 10 on the 33 of the Sooners with 2:54 to go in the first quarter. Bradford all day, wide open, complete, and down to the 40-yard line of the Baylor Bears. Chaney the receiver, Quinton his 5th reception, Jeremy Williams the tackle.
Yeah, utilizing 2 tight end personnel in this football game and 2 wide receivers. Chaney's going to be one of the receivers down here near that near hash mark. Get a tight end open in the middle of the field. Doesn't take him, but he'll take this guy down the field about 10 more yards. So Chaney doing a good job of just looking for the football, and Sam Bradford delivering.
27 yards on the pickup, back on the ground. DeMarco Murray with the next carry, and to Pavelic before he is stopped at the 34-yard line.
And you got some miscommunication, I think, in the Baylor secondary. To have those guys wide open as they are. Jermaine Gresham came across the middle of the field. And you had Quinton Chaney make that play, and Bradford pretty hot so far in his ball game, starting 5 of 6 and over 100 yards passing, 137 on the day.
Wow, what a performance. First quarter, 2:10 to go. 2nd and 4 for Bradford and crew. Murray. That'll move the chains down to the, 28-yard line, 27 maybe, as Price made the tackle.
That's a little more of a characteristic run that I think that people are trying to see from DeMarco Murray. Gets into the hole and then tries to make people miss. Make that first guy miss. That's an excellent cut there. Pavelic, a good linebacker, can't keep up with him, and he gets into the 2nd and 3rd level of the defense, and that's a nice run there by DeMarco Murray.
Murray, you might recall last year, 764 yards rushing, dislocated his knee, though, in the 11th game. Still had a great year, and Madu gets his first carry here to the 20-yard line. Sophomore from Norman, and Pavelic makes the tackle.
Yeah, Madu comes around. He's got good downhill speed. He's a lot like DeMarco Murray. He's got elusiveness and giving him 32 yards per ball game. So he's had a few touches in this season, and he's a changeup back as well. Get DeMarco out and get him in there. Gives him that quality depth that you like to have with your running back position.
Listed as 6 foot 196. He's averaging 3.5 per carry. Bradford chased out this time, dumps it off to Gresham, and Gresham takes it inside the 5-yard line. Jermaine Gresham, a junior out of Ardmore, Oklahoma, big play receiver. He's got 4 TD receptions this year. Patton makes the tackle after a 15-yard gain.
And he's the tight end that I'd like to build a team around. He's 6'6", 260 pounds, runs well, catches the football well. He's an exceptional athlete. Nice job here by Sam Bradford being elusive and then coming downhill to his big tight end. And pretty physical player. It takes 3 of them to get him on the ground.
OU set up first and goal at the 4. And Madu. Was that Murray? We'll see when they sort him out here. Madu, I believe. Yeah. And takes it down near the 2-yard line.
Got a play stoppage here on the field. Duke Robinson, the left guard, watch him pull around. He does a good job of coming around his little O block. Nice job of getting up in the hole, leading for his tailback. And you know, this line, watch his guard pull around here and get up. That's quickness for a big man. That's a good job of getting in the hole and getting some explosiveness with an offensive line. I think that's what Kevin Wilson's trying to get with that offensive front, trying to run the football, be a lot more physical inside.
Senior out of Atlanta, first team all-conference pick a year ago, and just one of a load of stars up front. Load hold at senior, and then John Cooper making his 29th consecutive start at center, providing a lot of leadership. Kevin Wilson, the offensive coordinator, telling us really likes the leadership the seniors are providing. Hey, tonight, College Football Saturday continues. What a doubleheader finish. 5th-ranked Texas trying to stay unbeaten, meeting the Buffaloes of Colorado. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, presented by KFC in high definition. The Longhorns and the Buffaloes, and what a game that shapes up to be. Timeout called here just before the snap.
And Joe Pavelic turning around, talking to the umpire, calling the timeout for Baylor defensively.
So timeout, Baylor there first. You know, we're talking about Bradford, who's obvious a Heisman candidate. There's a couple of other obvious ones, and Colt McCoy is certainly one. 80% passing completion rate this year.
Yeah, look at his numbers. Have they skyrocketed over the last couple of seasons, and over 209 points passing rating so far for Colt McCoy. I've seen him play a couple of games already this year, Bill, and he's on top of his game. He's a good passer. You see the numbers there, but I think it's just the command and control that he has of the offense for the Longhorns is going to make it a very interesting contest. Remember last season, Oklahoma went to Boulder, got upset out there.
Yeah.
So you got to kind of keep that in mind, because that's what Dan Hawkins is going to bring to his football team. Hey, we've done it before. We can do it again. I think Mac Brown's got to guard against going up to Boulder and having a letdown.
Well, of course, Oklahoma and Texas hook up next week at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, and nobody wanting to overlook anything before that. Bradford back to the action, under center on a 2nd and goal. Madu jams his way in. Yes. Touchdown, Oklahoma. Moses Madu gets the TD. That is his 3rd score of the year. He had a pair against Washington out on the coast earlier this season.
Well, your right guard does a good job here. Brian Simmons, just watch him push his defensive tackle out of the hole there. That enables Moses Madu to get right in there. Nice job by number 74, Brian Simmons, to help his tailback.
Stevens will come on for the PAT. A large contingent of Oklahoma fans making the trip down I-35 here to Waco, where they can get seats. And beautiful day for OU football. It's turned into a nightmare for Baylor. The kick is good, and the Sooners, with Stevens adding the PAT, make it 28-0. 4 different players have scored for Oklahoma, and this has kind of been their MO this season. They hit you early and hit you off.
Well, they're perfect on their possessions. Obviously, you see the 4 touchdowns here and how they've done it. Throw the football, run the football, just being a great offensive power. That's the dual threat that Oklahoma possesses offensively. They get all these things, you know, refined. It's going to have a great season. It's already been one so far. This being their 5th game and their first conference game for Sam Bradford and this offense, just putting up huge, you know, we saw it in the open. There's some tremendous numbers to start the season.
And Oklahoma, with 41 seconds to go in the first quarter, the number 1 ranked Sooners up 28-0 on Baylor. And it is certainly not the scenario that Art Briles was thinking would unfold here. Matthew Moreland again to kick it off. It's one more boot with that win. This one taken down near the goal line as they tug on it, and brought back out near the 30-yard line. And for Baylor, they'll take over there after Baker with the return. Oklahoma, look at that first quarter stat. They've outscored their opponents 103-3.
Pretty good start. Bob Stoops has got it under control there, and so
Think they're ready to play?
yes, sir. They get them out of the gates quick, and that's important in college football today to establish who you are, your identity early in football games.
That's Georgia last week when Alabama put 31 zip on them to start that game down between the hedges. Griffin keeps the football. Slipped a bit and then took the hit. Now the first pickup.
Yeah, that was the first design called run for Robert Griffin. Now, he's run the ball a little bit in this game, but that was the first one where it's a zone read where he's taking the ball to try to make something happen. Look for more of that today.
Freshman out of Copper's Cove, Texas, and this one's loose. Geddes pounces on it after Whitaker had it knocked, or the right had it knocked away, and Dominic Franks and Robinson were there covering on the play.
I'm not sure you can do this all day against this Oklahoma defense. That is throw the ball horizontally across the field. You see the speed of the Oklahoma defense just making it up too easily.
And ends the first quarter as Oklahoma up 28-0 on the Baylor Bears. Johnson, Murray, Bradford, and Madu, the touchdown makers for the Sooners on KFC's College Football Saturday. Welcome back. Bill and Gary Reasons with you. KFC's College Football Saturday. Big 12 action from Waco. Bears trailing 28 zip. 3rd and 12 to start the second quarter from their own 30. Griffin in trouble again. Got some room now. 40, 45, 50. Got a block. And out of bounds.
Late hit, probably.
Yes, it will be. The flag is thrown. That'll give him another 15. Harris making the stop, and Baylor some real excitement to start the second quarter.
Decent coverage in the secondary for Oklahoma, but it's man coverage, and it breaks down here. So Robert Griffin eludes the rush there by the Oklahoma defense, takes it down the near sideline, and when you see Nick Harris finishing here out of bounds, definitely a penalty easily seen.
36 yards. 36 yards on the pickup. Griffin, remember, set a school rushing record against Washington State with 11 carries, 225 yards, and 2 TDs. You see, if you don't contain him, what happens?
Yeah, if you're going to play man coverage and you're going to rush a number of players on him, 5 or 6 guys, and he breaks free, there's nobody else that's going to contain him. Somebody's going to have to come off a receiver and make a tackle late.
We're talking the Big 12 400-meter hurdles champ coming out of high school last December and last spring, finishing 3rd in the NCAA. So he can fly. 1st and 10. And the handoff here. And not much doing that time for Ray Sims, the senior from Corsicana, Texas.
Good pressure inside there by Cordero Moore, number 89, getting in the backfield of the Bears and kind of taking that play away. So take a look at the game summary early on here. Everything's going Oklahoma's way. Over 200 yards in the football game compared to Baylor's 44, and that's including that last run by Robert Griffin.
Griffin just 5 of 11 for 33 yards in the air. 2nd and 9. Passing situation here. We'll find out. From the 18 of the Sooners, Griffin again chasing. Got a block. End zone. Incomplete. Trying to connect down there and had a man at TJ Scranton, but OU had it covered as well as Dominic Franks was back.
I think Jeremy Beal, he's in shock because he thought he had Robert Griffin in the backfield, and just how he backpedals, puts his hand out and backpedal away from a speedy Jeremy Beal. That's impressive to see this from Robert Griffin. He's a playmaker.
See the Baylor red zone numbers. Oklahoma perfect this year. Baylor still working at it. And 3rd and 9 now from the 18. Griffin. And stopped at the 15-yard line. Lendy Holmes makes the tackle. 4th down, field goal situation, or when you're down 28-0, are you looking for 3s?
Yeah, you're definitely going to go for the touchdown here, but this is what Robert Griffin gives you. Gives you the ability to break down. But, Bill, I think this is where he's going to run into problems this year. He's going to take too much contact here in the Big 12, and not sure that he's going to be able to finish all the ball games that he plays if he keeps getting contact like that.
Incomplete.
Got to be a couple of penalties. They threw 2 on the sideline.
Yeah.
When you see a hat out there, it means the official's already thrown his flag once before.
Yeah, he's not working on the tan. Bring up a good point, though, by And Art Briles recognized that when we were talking to him this week and said, yeah, we've got to protect him some.
2 fouls on the play. Offside on the defense. That penalty will be declined. Pass interference. Number 11 of the defense. Ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. First down.
Well, you see the hard count there, gets the defensive line in there trying to put the pressure on the quarterback, and then in the secondary, that's Lindy Holmes, a free safety, getting called for the penalty there, trying to cover Kendall Wright. So they're taking the pass interference play, gives them a fresh set of downs inside the 5-yard line.
So the best opportunity of this game for Baylor on a 1st and goal from the 3-yard line following the penalty.
Now, I think this is probably going to be a run-pass option with Robert Griffin. You know, if I was a gambling man, I'd say put the ball in the hands of that playmaker.
And he's stopped. They're going to mark it near the 1 forward progress as Harris makes the tackle.
Kind of a unique set there. He goes back, looks in the shotgun, walks up under center, then gooses the center, takes the ball really quick, tries to take the defense, catch him off guard there. And he made 3 yards, but the Sooners, they kind of come down here there. Watch Ryan Reynolds, the linebacker, fill that hole, get a good pop on the quarterback, and then you got some help there with Nick
Griffin again. Quick snap, goes in, no signal. They'll sort him out down there. Touchdown. Griffin gets the TD, and Baylor is on the board here in the 2nd quarter on their first drive.
Well, the big run by Robert Griffin breaking out of the pocket sets up this great field position. The penalty also helped, gets the ball for a 1st and goal inside the 5-yard line. 2nd attempt now for Robert Griffin. Gets that ball across the goal line per the officials. So there's the ball across down the line. So excellent job by Baylor punching the ball in against the Sooners.
And the PAT by Ben Parks is good. Freshman out of Argyle, Texas connects. He is 17-19 on the season. Baylor, a TD, 28-7 Oklahoma. Robert Griffin with a TD. He was responsible for 4 in their last game against Connecticut. Threw for 3 and ran for 1. He gets the touchdown here and did most of the work himself on that 8-play drive that took 3:07. And now it is Baylor to kick it off. Down 28-7. Griffin's work here this afternoon.
Already 45 rush yards in the football game. He's averaging 83 yards a game running the football, so right on target with what he's been doing this season.
And the kickoff taken 1 yard deep out of the end zone. Oh, and a hit there. Iglesias is brought down at the 15-yard line.
We may have a hold, though, defensive or on the kick return team by Baylor. We got a penalty out there, Bill.
Atchison makes the tackle. Tim Atchison, a sophomore from Copperas Cove, Texas.
Russell Scampi and the Baylor Bears have teamed up to provide a chance for children between the ages of 6 and 12. The official Baylor Bear kickoff kick.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Offside on the kicking team. During the return, illegal block in the back on the receiving team. Fouls will offset.
And we're going to re-kick this thing.
Yep.
Couple offsetting penalties, kick team offside, and bring the ball back to the 30-yard line, so they get to go again. Pretty good job, though, by Baylor coming off of a block and making a tackle there around the 15.
Well, you see both coaches here. Special teams, but all mistakes drive you crazy. But special teams really get under the skin of the coaches because they can be such swing plays, Gary.
Yeah, they certainly can, because you can get momentum. Field position is key in this football game. Oklahoma's used it to their advantage offensively when they've got the ball in their hands. And Baylor, you know, they've given up field position in the kick game. A bad punt early in the football game in the 1st quarter. So here you have a chance to cover a kick, make a play, and create decent field position. Hopefully your defense can go out there and find a way to slow down Oklahoma. It hasn't happened yet today.
So Parks will kick it off again. Oklahoma set to return up 28-7. Iglesias and Murray, the deep men, and Iglesias again a step back into the end zone. This time the 20, and ducks under near the 24-yard line. So OU picks up a little yardage on that swap out. Let's check in with Mike Goldberg in another game break.
Bill, things getting a little better for Baylor. Same cannot be said for number 16, Kansas. They are at Iowa State, and Kansas has turned it over twice. This recent pass intercepted by the freshman Leonard Johnson. It's 20-0. The Jayhawks have won 4 of the last 5 in this series. Later today, Missouri tries to win for the first time in 3 decades at Nebraska.
Thanks very much, Mike. Back to the action here. And Oklahoma with Murray carrying the football, and Chris Francis makes the tackle. Here, a comment about Missouri having not won in Lincoln in 30 years. Kellen Winslow was a part of their last victory. I mean, we're going back a ways.
That's going back a little bit, but they'd like to get it done today, that's for sure.
Murray spins out of a tackle, shakes another, and shows some power as he forges ahead across the 31-yard line before Jordan Lake, the free safety.
I think Jordan Lake might have taken the worst of that tackle situation. He came up from his free safety spot, tried to tackle DeMarco Murray. Watch at the end of the play here, DeMarco Murray trying to be physical, and he certainly is. And bingo right there, and knocks off Jordan Lake, and actually gets credit for the tackle.
Murray, 9 carries, 40 yards so far for the Sooners. 3rd and 3 for Oklahoma. Brown, first down and plenty more. Trots it to the 40-yard line where Jordan Lake makes the tackle.
Yeah, taking the pressure off of Sam Bradford, running the football. Got a chance here to develop your run game against Baylor today, and they're trying to do so. Trying to establish the line of scrimmage. You see the center there. Take a look at Cooper there, trying to get a hole open for his tailback, and Chris Brown does a nice job running through there with authority.
Up tempo here, and Brown again on first down carry. Flag is thrown as he is stopped near the 45-yard line.
There was no play prior to the snap. False start, number 7 to the offense. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
And calling Corey Brandon the right tackle there for Oklahoma, who's in the ball game. Get some quality playing time here early in the first half. A quick start there. Hadn't been out there with the Sooners a lot offensively and offensive line front. So going that up-tempo speed, kind of jumped.
1st and 15. Brown. Boy, moved that pile forward as he got stopped near the 40 and just kept on chugging the 43-yard line before he's brought down. 10:45 and counting here, second quarter. Floyd Casey Stadium in Waco. Oklahoma, let it be known early on, if you weren't with us, that deserving that #1 ranking, and scored on the first 4 possessions. Baylor starts the second quarter with a TD drive. Griffin providing most of the action of that, including the TD run. Here's a bullet pass, and Johnson, a nice reception, and brought down at the 48-yard line. Dwayne Crawford covering for the Bears. Crawford, a senior out of Giddings, Texas.
And he's one of the better cornerbacks. You know, he's a pretty good player. He'll match up well against these offensive weapons that Oklahoma has, and come up in pretty good strike on him. Good size, 6 foot, almost 200 pounds, and a senior. He's experienced out there, Bill.
Had a pick in the Washington State game. OU is 4 of 4 in third down conversions. The Sooners coming in 48% in these situations. It is 3rd and 2 here. Murray tried to cut it back upfield, slipped, and a little short of the first down marker. In fact, just shy of midfield.
You saw him slide, and you see the black come up off his feet. Watch here, it's going to pop up, and this is this synthetic field that's got the rubber. It's got tires. You can take those grounded tires, and that's what they use as a base for this AstroTurf field.
Really slipped on that badly. Oklahoma will go for it on 4th down. Murray, the running back. Everyone looks to the sideline for the call. Bradford, Iglesias got the first down. Well, that's a play where the defender goes it all for the interception. Jumps it. Iglesias gets 6 out of it.
Well, that's right, exactly. And Joaquin Iglesias, a senior, he knows where he's going to go get that first down for his quarterback. Made sure of that with his body position.
Bryan, the tackler on the play, and the Sooners a new set of downs. 1st and 10, the 47. Bradford comes out of the pocket and throws this one away.
Yeah, just one receiver out on it. They thought they'd get Joaquin Iglesias uncovered at the top of the screen, but they did not do that. Dwayne Crawford had him covered. Only one player out, so Sam Bradford smartly throws the football away.
Iglesias coming in just shy of 2,000 yards receiving in his career, and number 13 in all-purpose yards at OU career-wise. He's wrapping up one heck of a career. This is game 5 of the season. Long way to go for the senior from Killeen, Texas. He's caught 17 balls, 268 yards coming in here today. 2nd and 10 now for the Sooners as Gresham in motion sets up to the left. Murray, and Baylor breaks through. And Johnson makes the stop.
And the Antonio Johnson, who's their weak side linebacker, does a good job coming downhill right off the edge and get in the backfield and make a pretty good hit there on the tailback in the backfield. Negative play, what you like to see.
3rd and 11. Crowd gets a little buzzed here, hoping that Baylor defense can hold. Ball at the 48 of the Bears. Murray and Bradford in the backfield. Bradford, great protection. Going deep here. Iglesias. Still waiting for a ruling, and it's incomplete. Coming up with the football was Jordan Lake.
Now that ball bounced around down there like a bunch of popcorn popping around, and Iglesias trying to pull the ball in. See it here on the replay, and the ball's still going. Jordan Lake, number 21, gets his hands on. Does the ball touch the ground anywhere?
Hasn't yet.
It's on top. It's still on top. Does it touch the ground there? Jordan Lake thinks he gets his hand underneath it. Don't see from that angle, but perhaps here on the left side, we'll see if it falls and hits the ground. And I don't know if it does or not, Bill. That might have been his elbow touching the ground.
The ball doesn't hit the ground.
We're ruling it as an interception.
First down.
I'm sure we'll take a quick, close look at this, and maybe we can take another look at that same angle again.
What a mess as it rolls to the bodies intertwined, and we'll see if they look at it with it. Baylor football.
We'll take a look at it one more time here as the ball's bouncing off of Iglesias there, his left shoulder. Does the ball hit the ground? I'm not sure if that ball's touching the ground or not. I think it's right on his shoulder pad, and it's still up in the air. So it's a good job here by Lake pulling that ball up and pulling it in. So I think it's going to be a good call here. The ball's going to go over to Baylor.
If it did touch the ground, Gary, it's going to be really difficult to overturn because so far, and we got a ton of angles, we haven't one that's shown that.
I haven't seen anything that's definitive enough to overturn the call on the field, which is an interception. So that's probably what's going to stand. Don't know if that ball touches the ground because you got Manuel Iglesias' arm right there on top of it, and Jordan Lake looks like he pulls it out. It's kind of rolling it back there, see if we can see the ball touch the ground.
With the shadows, you cannot tell there as the review is on.
It's hard to tell. It's in that shadow and the arm right there together. So this is in the hands of the replay officials upstairs. I'm not sure if they can see it or not, Bill. I'd probably have to go with what's called on the field, and that's an interception.
And we've talked about, there was your 3rd long situation, and Baylor desperately trying to get something momentum-wise after they finally got on the board to start the 2nd quarter. It's a huge play here.
But you look at the pass, Sam Bradford put it right on the money.
Yeah.
I mean, and Iglesias bobbled that football. Should have just made the catch, pull it in, but it didn't secure it initially. And you had the contact there by the defense, and the ball popped around a little bit. So you can't fault it. If it is an interception, you really can't fault that to Sam Bradford. He's been stellar today throwing the ball.
Yeah, he has been outstanding as he has been all year, as Bradford coming in with 16 TD passes and 2 interceptions is all. And Bradford, if that is the interception, will be his first of the day.
That's called on the field. First down.
Yeah, that's what we thought. So Baylor will get the football, and hard to argue with that.
Yeah, hard to change that. Not definitive enough to have a look at it. And finally something goes away for Art Browse. You see the missed catch there by Iglesias and winds up being an interception. Good effort play by Lake, coming in there late and getting that football, get his hand underneath it, and going to get credit for the interception.
Now, if you're an OU fan, you go, you know what? If that's an incompletion and we punt it away, we got him backed up on a 10-yard line. So there's a bright side for the OU fan as well. And Baylor trying to run it out of that end zone area now and getting back to the line of scrimmage.
Travis Lewis making the play, and I really like Travis Lewis as a linebacker. He's done a great job, I think, early in this season. Just a young player, Bill. He's just a redshirt freshman, and they feel like that he's been the biggest surprise for their defensive unit, and he's done a good job in space on receivers, making tackles. As he grows in that defensive system, I think he can be a star.
Yeah, another Texan out of San Antonio, 6'2", 220, a redshirt freshman. You're saying his name a lot today. 2nd and 10. This one is incomplete. And a good pop by Holmes in the secondary on the intended receiver, Ernest Smith.
Almost got it in there. That's one that when Robert Griffin looks at it, says, if I can fit this ball in there, it's in front of the safety, behind the cornerback, and this is one that open receiver just a little bit high.
So now 3rd and 10. Baylor gets the pick, but they're on their own 10-yard line. They're going to gain any momentum, get it back in this thing. They need to move the chains a bit. Griffin out of the shotgun this time. 4 wideouts to the near side. He goes the other way. Got a pick, and Geddes trying to make the best of it. But he is shy of the first down. And Griffin, or the offensive lineman, slow to get up. As
well, it's a good play design, Bill. They bring all the receivers to the near sideline. It's got an isolation receiver out there, and you got a blocker coming out to get him right there. Bingo. But then good hustle inside by number 28. We've talked about Travis Lewis and his athleticism. He's the one that stopped the play for Oklahoma.
So here's Epperson now. He's got the wind at his back this time. He's had a couple of difficult punts, and he's had one good one here today. See what he does this time. Dandy on 4th and 3, and it is taken and smothered at the 35-yard line is Broyles. We'll take a brief timeout. KFC's Big 12 College Football Saturday you're watching after a 45-yard punt, Oklahoma football. College Football Saturday is brought to you by Suzuki Automotive. Live, large, drive small. By New Touch of Gray just for men. New Touch of Gray lets you keep some gray hair for the generation that swore would never get old. And the First Down Markers brought to you by Overstock.com. Shop for the company that supports college football. Overstock.com, at home with the O. Baylor and Oklahoma with a 28-7 Oklahoma Sooner ball, 1st and 10 from the 35. 6:49 to go before halftime. And Emmanuel Johnson, nice little turnaround and grab, knocked out of bounds near midfield. Very close to the first down, and Price making the stop for the Bears.
Yeah, surprised that's not a penalty out of bounds. This is marginally close here on the sideline of hitting Emmanuel Johnson out of bounds, and I think it is.
Definitely.
Not called there by 2 line judges, so actually hitting him low on the legs, that's pretty much uncalled for.
Bradford hands it off to Brown. Brown bows up, got the first down into Baylor territory at the 49-yard line. Vincent Rhodes, a senior from Denison, Texas, with a tackle. Rhodes coming in with 10 stops on the season.
Now defensively, Baylor's had their hands full today, Bill. The running game has been pretty much in hand here for Oklahoma. They've been able to run the ball downhill, take the pressure off of Sam Bradford. He's thrown the ball effectively. Last time out, the interception off the tip ball by Joaquin Iglesias, the only thing that stopped Oklahoma today.
Brown cuts it back and ankle tackled near the 45-yard line, just shy of another first down. Well, Oklahoma last week, 25 yards rushing. They're establishing the run today, aren't they?
No doubt about it. You take a look at the linemen here, moving them out downfield. Trent Williams doing a nice job with the right tackle, just closing down the defensive tackle. And you take the tailback, Chris Brown, run right off that. That's what the zone running scheme allows that tailback to do, just find the open area.
And now they come close to the 100-yard rushing for the day on this carry. They get a couple. They were 24 of 96 prior to that play. And now 270 yards total offense to Marco Murray that carry.
See the rushing yardage in the football game. Baylor, all that's the majority of it is with Robert Griffin running the football, and Oklahoma doing with their 3 tailbacks.
Bradford, TD pass, you betcha. Iglesias scores for the Sooners. Made it look easy. Iglesias, his 5th touchdown reception of the year. A 42-yard pass play from Sam Bradford to Joaquin Iglesias.
Now he's matched up with Marlon Price, the safety out there, and Joaquin Iglesias gets behind him, and this is an easy throw and catch here. Sam Bradford shows he can roll out of the pocket, turn, and get his shoulders downfield, and throws a nice ball here to Joaquin and goes right by Price. Never even touched him, didn't even adjust him. Joaquin Iglesias turned out to be, I think, one of the most favored receivers that Sam Bradford has.
And The kick is up and is good, as Iglesias today has passed Antoine Savage on the all-time receiving yardage list at Oklahoma. 35-7 Sooners.
Marco, that is a beautiful Big 12 trophy. Hey, coming up on the College Football Saturday halftime show, all about the Red River rivalry.
Hold the phone, Goldie. We still got to play this game first. Oh, yeah.
We're going to talk about Texas, Colorado, and so much more. And don't forget, you can text us at 310-425-9455. It's the College Football Saturday halftime show. Back to Waco and Bill Lamb.
All right, thank you very much, Mike DeMarco. Look forward to the halftime, 35-7 here. And Bears haven't been getting enough to eat. Iglesias putting the last bit of punishment on Baylor here with that touchdown reception, over 2,000 yards in his career. He passes Antoine Savage on the all-time list. Bradford moving up some career charts as well. We'll get to that in a moment as the kickoff comes and is fumbled, and I think Oklahoma's recovered. We'll see.
I think it was Keenan Clayton who was right there, the first one on it, number 22 for Oklahoma.
It's Baylor. It's Baylor
back
ball.
to
Taylor dropping the football, and then Baylor quick to pounce on it, though. So the Bears will maintain possession of the 25-yard line. Sam Bradford moving up the charts, and remember, what is this, his 19th start? And Bradford with 54 touchdown passes, past his coach, Josh Heupel, assistant coach. Got a ways to go to catch Jason White, the one-time Heisman winner. But just a terrific start for the first year plus for Sam Bradford of his OU career. And Finley, gang tackled, stopped near the 32-yard line.
Yeah, biggest run of the day, except for Robert Griffin for Baylor, running the football, and Finley coming downhill. We talked about him early in the ball game, that he's given them a pretty good running combination on the season coming into the ball game. Jay Finley averaging 79 yards a game and just not getting off the blocks fast enough to make a tackle on the young man.
Second and 2, making the first down after that. And Griffin. Change move, 4:53 to go here. Baylor not looking for moral victories, but if you're going to slow you down, you got to get some offense productivity here.
That's absolutely right. You've got to be able to move the chains a little bit, move the ball down the field, flip the field. If you don't score, at least put the defense out there in a better position they've been in. Oklahoma's had good field position most of the day.
Griffin going deep here and nearly picked off, as good fight for the football that time between T.J. Scranton and Jackson. Brian Jackson, a junior out of DeSoto, Texas, just south part of Dallas. And well, they're really excited about his play. Jackson really done a nice job coming in there.
Yeah, I think he's a good player. He's got good size, 6'1", 205 pounds, and got a good eye for the football. So I think he's solidified that cornerback spot. They're really pleased with his play so far. On the other side, Dominique Franks, a young sophomore, has also held up very well to go with Nick Harris and Lindy Holmes. The secondary for the Sooners is pretty solid.
Griffin just 6 of 15 for 40 yards in the passing game. He'll try to run it here. Escapes one and is stopped just shy of the 40-yard line. Remind you to save time and fuel by shopping comfortably at home with Overstock.com. At home with the O. 2nd and 10 this time for, or the third, I should say, and I'm going to make it 5. Clock moving, 4 minutes now. 3rd and 6, they make it officially.
There's 4 linemen there for Oklahoma trying to contend with this front here for Baylor.
Right. Got the first down and escapes and dives to midfield. Kendall Wright, Lindy Holmes making the tackle. So they keep the football.
I think Baylor's going to go up tempo here. You try to get the ball to your speed players, and it's exactly what Kendall Wright is. Breaks one tackle there. Brian Jackson can't get him to the ground, so that ensures the first down.
On the move this time as Griffin, who shows you his power. He is stopped near the 45-yard line. But Gary,
he's getting a little punishment out there. Nick Harris coming downhill.
Remember yesterday we're talking to Coach Briles, and he stuck his head in the office. Griffin did, and he said, "You all right?" They hadn't played in a week. He said, hey, he took a beating up there at UConn. And he said, still banged up.
Still a little banged up, but he's game. There's no doubt he's going to be a competitor.
This time, big play again. Griffin popped hard, but he takes it to the 25-yard line of Oklahoma.
Little option game coming down the sideline, down the line of scrimmage there, and he just takes it around the edge. Nobody accounting for the quarterback, so Griffin turns it north down the field, and excellent job there. You see the blocks there, and he's just going to come straight down the field, trying to outrun the defense, and pretty good contact in the secondary. Franks and Harris combined for the tackle.
20-yard pickup, 12 carries, 72 yards rushing for Griffin. First down this time, gets a breather, and Baylor moving it nicely, and carrying the football that time, Sanders. Jeremy Sanders from Marlin, Texas. Come in averaging 4.4 carries, scored a touchdown.
Oklahoma found a way to run the football a little bit here. Good gash run by the quarterback Griffin, and then getting around the outside. Another first down here. So inside the 15-yard line, ball around the 13-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Baylor Bears.
Scranton wide left, 2 other receivers to the left side. Here he comes, right, trying to turn the corner. He does, to the 10. Nice move, stopped at the 5-yard line. Kendall Wright.
Now that was a nice play design. It's a run-pass option for Kendall Wright, who's gone the little flip pass here. And take a look at Kendall Wright, going to get the football. Here he is down here, and he comes back. They're going to pitch the football to him. Watch up here at the top of the screen, the coverage, and allows him to continue to run. This is a pass option. If he's not covered, he'll toss in the end zone, but pretty elusive there and a speedy Kendall Wright.
Now 2nd down, and needed 2. Griffin stopped. Clock at 1:55. Remember, Baylor has 2 timeouts remaining, so that's not a big problem right now. And a chance to obviously get a first down without a touchdown. It'll be 3rd and 1 from the 4-yard line.
And the Bears not doing a whole lot through the air here, only 40 yards passing for Robert Griffin, but himself 73 yards on the ground. So the most they've done against the Oklahoma defense is run the football.
And this time they do run it again. Jacoby Jones, he is stopped, but see where they spotted to get the first down as Keaton Clayton makes the tackle. He needed a yard.
Just a lead play here, going lead on Ryan Reynolds, the linebacker, and Clayton has to come in to make the tackle from his linebacker spot.
They're going to measure, I think, Gary. Yeah, they'll bring it out here with 1:16 remaining.
You know, Bill, if there is kind of a strength of this Baylor football team, it should be their offensive line. They're experienced. They've got a couple of seniors up there on that front and 3 juniors, guard, center, and both guards are juniors, and the center's also a junior. So those guys give them a chance to compete if they can play and be on. Take a look at the measurement here.
Wow. 4th down. You saw just a link or 2. Here's a look at their improvement offensively. Look at every category, particularly rushing the football. Passing, they're down a little bit because they're more balanced this year, but overall 428 to 351. And the big thing has been turnovers, where they are a +5 on the year. Last year they averaged -1.5 a game. They were last in Division I.
Yeah, ball security is key, and just moving those numbers up in all areas. That run game has certainly been accentuated, especially with Robert Griffin in the fold.
Did he get a chain link?
I think he got the chain link. You got the push, get behind big J.D. Walton and James Barnard, the right guard.
There's the signal. So set of downs with 1:01 remaining. Art Briles looking on, first year here after 5 very successful years at Houston. Went 32-26, 34-28 at Houston in his 5 years. Of course, outstanding high school coach at Stephenville, won 4 state championships there before going on as an assistant at Texas Tech.
And Gerald McCoy hopping off the field there on one leg. Looks like something's is happening with his right leg. And don't know what that is, but he's out of the football game.
And then we'll see Granger still with an injury, who is out. And Braxton. All right, 1st and goal for the 2. And touchdown, Baylor.
He's got some quicks, Bill.
Wow. Griffin.
Lindy Holmes coming up and trying to make a tackle, but Robert Griffin comes down the near side, Little option play for him, and he just turns the corner. The right tackle does a good job of blocking there, Dan Gay, number 71, and then he just turns that corner right there. Excellent job getting into the end zone.
Yeah, with everybody in the building knowing what he's going to do. And he still gets by one of the top defenses in the country. And the point after is good. So the Bears, after being down 28-0 after the first quarter, are down 35-14, but have played much better here in the second period. Robert Griffin with the TD, and Baylor gets its second score of the afternoon, 35-14. Griffin with both of the touchdown runs. And the Bears, take a look at their rushing total for the day, and we're approaching halftime. OU, one of the best in the country, only allowing 73 per game. Pretty impressive work for Baylor. Shows you their improvement, even though this game is still out of line a bit.
Oklahoma, the #1 defense in the Big 12, coming in 253 yards a game and only allowing 73 yards on the ground, and Baylor's got on top of that number.
Yeah, they've been giving up. Bob Stoops says his judgment is how many points do you allow? Well, they've only been allowing 13 a game. Here's Iglesias from the goal line. Trying to turn the corner and tripped up shy of the 20-yard line. So with 42 seconds to go, flags are thrown everywhere though. It'll be Oklahoma football. I'll remind you, coming up at half, Mike Goldberg, Marco Farr. Check in on all the score updates. Look ahead. Don't forget, later on, college football Saturday, Texas, Colorado.
Holding, number 29 of the receiving team. Penalty will be half the distance to the goal from the end of the spot, first down.
I'm going to update you on that Kansas-Iowa State game, as Iowa State had the early lead there. Iowa State's Baylor's next opponent. Of course, Oklahoma meet the Longhorns in the renovated and expanded Cotton Bowl next week in Dallas.
I had a buddy of mine was in Dallas this past week and was really impressed with the facilities and how good that stadium looks, and expanded seating arena there, so it should be a good contest.
Very impressive. Speaking of that, here's the Sooner team leaders here as they approach their final drive of the half. Bradford hands it off, and Oklahoma with 35 seconds, content to run out the clock, or so it would appear, unless they get a big pop here. Is Murray the carrier that time? Bob Stoops' club established itself early, though, with 4 possessions and 4 TDs in the first quarter. Johnson, Murray, Bradford, Madu, and then here in the second quarter, Iglesias, a 42-yard TD pass from Bradford. Bradford's thrown for 2 and run for 1. And
they'll be content to go in the locker room with a nice lead.
So 35-14 the count. And certainly Oklahoma's done pretty much all you could ask, but Baylor has not given up by any means. An impressive second quarter.
Yeah, one of the things I said as a key for Oklahoma defensively was to contain Robert Griffin. He's had a couple long runs here today against this Oklahoma defense, and that's given them the spark and the field position to put a couple touchdowns on the board.
Sooners in control on KFC's Big 12 College Football Saturday with a 35-14 Oklahoma over Baylor here at Floyd Casey Stadium in Waco, Texas. Let's send it off to Mike Goldberg in our studios.
Oklahoma, #1, first week, 35-14 at the half. Welcome back. Big 12 College Football Saturday, presented by KFC. Bill and Gary Reason. So far, so good. Sooners impressive.
Yeah, pretty impressive in the first half. Everything working for them. Sam Bradford has been very hot. They ran the football very well. DeMarco Murray got on track a little bit. And the defense, I thought, for Oklahoma played well. But Robert Griffin, he's that exceptional athlete for Baylor that brings a little life to his football team. He's got the innate ability to make plays with his feet. When things break down, he can make things happen. And he ran through the Sooner defense for a pretty good first half for himself rushing the football. So he's the hope for them, and he's the reason they've got 2 scores on the board. For Sam Bradford, it's just been a very efficient, workmanlike effort here. Going to his favorite receiver from a week ago, Manuel Johnson, for a first early touchdown in the middle of the field with Quentin Chaney as well. He spread the ball. He spread the wealth around this football game. Iglesias also getting into the action. So the Sooners are very potent on offense. But the story I think is into this first half in particular is that the Baylor has been able to run the football on Oklahoma. We'll see how that continues here in the second half.
All right, and Oklahoma will receive the football to start the second half after deferring winning the toss prior to the football game. And Baylor will be kicking it off here as Parks will do the honors. And Iglesias and Murray are the deep men for the Sooners. Oklahoma scoring its first 4 possessions and a 28-0 lead after a quarter. Then Baylor kind of regrouping, establishing a little something in the second quarter. Down 35-14, and take a look at the stats in a moment that kind of give you an idea of what the teams are going to emphasize here in this second half. The Bears coming in at 2-2. The Sooners are 4-0. Big 12 conference opener. Oklahoma the preseason pick. Iglesias from the 7. The 20 slips a tackler. 25. And Iglesias dives forward across to the 30-yard line. 23 yards on the return. Let's take a look at those first half stats. As see Baylor, we mentioned it earlier, Gary, Baylor run the football. Passing yards have been tough.
Yeah, they've been tough throwing the football. Oklahoma's kind of put the grips on Robert Griffin throwing the football, no doubt about that. But he's got an ability to run the ball. You take a look at their rushing yards in the ball game, a little bit better than Oklahoma, over 118 yards there. So look for them to use his dual threat capability, I think, for Baylor going into the second half.
OU averages 526 a game, 7th in the nation in total offense. Well on their way to meeting that mark today. And a first down pass out of the chutes to Ryan Broyles. Patton makes the tackle as Bradford and Broyles connect. And let's see if they start the second half the way they did the first. Touchdown, 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 touchdown.
It came up quick. Had that one interception on the tip pass by Iglesias that went to Baylor and Jordan Lake. But other than that, they've been perfect.
Second and a couple here. And complete. And slipping and then keeping his balance is Broyles. And first down.
And what this is with coming out here, Kevin Wilson deciding to go ahead and utilize his wide receivers and throw it outside and let his other receivers block for him. And that's the thing here. I think Coach Stoops really is pleased when his wide receivers block well. You see both of them actually didn't get blocks on that play. And Ryan Broyles, just an exceptional quick player out of Norman High School. Redshirt freshman doing a pretty good job there.
Murray upended at midfield. Tackle there by Lamar was in on that play. Yeah, Jake Lamar, senior out of Bedford, Texas, the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. There's the work that Murray has done so far today. Murray coming in, averaging 83.8 a game. Bradford, Iglesias slips the tackler and breaks another one. 35-30, sideline 20, a cutback, and he's inside the 20-yard line. Joaquin Iglesias.
He makes a couple of people miss, and he's got a good block on the outside by number 85, Ryan Broyles, who does a good job helping him get free. But Iglesias makes the first guy miss and breaks it down on the outside. He's got enough speed to take it down the field. That's the job of running after the catch. There's one missed tackle, and there's the second one, and the rest is history. He's inside the 15.
Murray, he pushes it down to near the 6-yard line.
A little up-tempo offense here. I think that plays to Oklahoma's strong suit because they don't have to change personnel to go up-tempo and kind of utilize different formations. Their tight ends are very versatile. Brody Eldridge and Jermaine Gresham, both of them in the game, and Brody can play some fullback. So a lot of different things that Oklahoma can do without changing personnel.
Yeah, and very difficult. The defense then having to adjust. Second down and 4. Murray pushes forward again inside the 5 down to the 3-yard line.
You know, we haven't talked a lot about the Baylor interior defensive linemen, but they're pretty pleased with those guys. Trey Bryant, number 97 inside, and Vincent Rhodes, they've held up decent. They're decent-sized guys in there, 6'3", 6'2", 6'3", 305-pounders. So they feel like if they can hold up inside, that they can slow down the run. You got Joe Pavelic behind you. He's a middle linebacker, but I think he's a pretty salty player, Bill. He gets to the ball quite a bit.
Brown. That Baylor line comes back at him that Gary's talking about. Be a first and goal, though, as he got the first down yardage necessary on a 3rd and 2 play. And Leon Freeman makes the tackle, a senior from Vero Beach, Florida. Freeman, 25 years old, spent 3 years in the Army, long tour in Iraq.
Now, they may have to measure this one, Bill. It's pretty close.
I don't think they've given it to him. They're going to wait and see. There's a story on Freeman. Pretty amazing that the 6 months he spent in Iraq and 3 years in the Army and coming here, and he'll be 26 later on this fall.
He's a pretty good player. He's got coming into the ball game. 6 tackles for loss, couple of sacks, kind of led the group up there in that category. So he's a productive player for Baylor.
Obvious leadership influence that helps out with this team and a new head coach.
And here's a momentum going up for Baylor. You got to think, okay, can we slow down this offense and get a 4th down conversion here opportunity for Oklahoma, and look at Sam Bradford maybe keep this football.
4th and 1. Clapp and Brown behind Bradford as he again looks for the signal. Brown to the end zone and touchdown. Touchdown Oklahoma.
Now, I thought they might go with just the quarterback keeper and have Sam Bradford go over the top like they have earlier in the ball game and got his first touchdown, but just handed back to Mr. Reliable back there, and that being Chris Brown. Your short yardage back if you have one on Oklahoma's team, and just runs through a would-be tackler and gets that ball across the goal line for the score.
So Brown with the touchdown, and he's got 10 carries and 40 yards. That 3-prong rushing attack of Murray, Brown, and Madu, very effective again for the Sooners here today. The point after by Stevens is good, and the Sooners come out and, as you might expect, take it in for 7 and lead it 42-14. College Football Saturday is presented by KFC and the KFC $10 Challenge. 7 pieces of KFC original recipe, 1 large side, and 4 biscuits for just $9.99. Life tastes better with KFC. And the First Down Markers brought to you by Overstock.com. Save time and fuel by shopping comfortably at home with Overstock.com. At home with the O. Lloyd Casey Stadium, the home of the Baylor Bears. They trail at 42-14. Oklahoma taking the opening drive of the second half and putting it in the end zone. And they've had 6 different players score touchdowns for them today. Moreland's kick into the wind and a run back taken at the 16-yard line. And Baker out to the 39-yard line. And as they come on offensively, how about that OU line?
Yeah, the offensive line did a great job. Watch Trent Williams here just get a pancake block, open things up inside for the tailback to run through there. And when you get line play like this, you get physical play. Look at Jermaine Gresham just open up that, take his guy inside, and nobody there to get Chris Brown.
Well, Baylor, pretty decent field position. Let's see if they can take advantage of it to start this second half, as their first possession of the second half, I should say, from the 38-yard line. And right. They smelled that out, and making the hit, Brian Jackson. Jackson right there on the spot.
Yeah, Baylor's run that play a couple times today, and now Oklahoma's seen it. They've reacted well, and Brian Jackson coming up making a physical tackle, and he's a big guy, Bill, 6'1", 205 pounds. I've talked about him. I think he's going to be one of the better cornerbacks in this conference this season.
Right, their leading receiver.
There he is
his
again.
4th grab today, and they get it back out to the 35 as White makes this grab as Jackson on the play.
Jackson on consecutive tackles here, trying to go at him on that quick little hitch outside, but nothing going for Oklahoma. Actually, 3rd down, they actually lose yardage on the first couple of plays.
You know, the Sooners want to again establish that defense here, try to put this one away early in the second half as they get ready for Texas next week. 3 of 10 on 3rd down conversions for the Bears. Griffin, little time here, got an arm into the wind, going deep and incomplete. Trying to hook up with Geddes, the speedster. Junior out of Los Angeles, came in with 11 grabs, and Franks was covering.
You know, when you talk about Robert Griffin as a quarterback, obviously we're seeing him run around the field today and do a good job of running the football. But you know what? He's a pretty accomplished passer for just a true freshman out of high school. I like the way he throws the football. Probably ahead of some guys that are early in their career throwing the ball. It's going to take a little bit of time, too, to get adjusted to these receivers and make some plays like that consistently.
Low snap fielded by Epperson, and it is taken. Broyles circles, comes to 15, and brought down. Good coverage there by Baylor at the 17, maybe 18-yard line. And we'll take a brief timeout. Lake making the stop for Baylor. They trail it to Oklahoma 42-14. Sooners 42, Baylor 14. Number 1 ranked Oklahoma having its way. Our Suzuki Automotive Way of Life today features defensive coordinator Brian Norwood here at Baylor. His son Jordan, a wide receiver at Penn State, where Brian was coaching last year. And this season, you see Jordan's play. Brian said, all right, we got a Saturday off last week. Great. Get to see the Lions play? No, son's hurt. Can't go. So difficult when you're playing long distance that way with your kids. As
he wanted to go.
Yeah, and
there wasn't any reason to if his son wasn't playing. So did a little work here, got on the road recruiting a little bit. So
Penn State unbeaten and Northwestern, the other Big Ten, unbeaten. I mean, this crazy start to this college football season.
Strange. Those are the only 2 unbeaten teams in the Big Ten. Not too surprised about Penn State, but Northwestern still early though.
Yeah,
a lot of conference games still to play.
Coach Norwood's got his hands full here with this Oklahoma offense that took the opening drive and went right down the field.
I think they stopped play for John Cooper, the center. He's coming off the field, and so Jason Hannon's coming in the back and play center for him. He's a redshirt freshman now.
Yeah, not far from here. Waxahachie, Texas. Is John Cooper, the senior out of Fort Collins, Colorado, has been a mainstay for years. Goes limping off. Bradford under pressure. Gresham. Watch out, the big fella can motor. If he shakes a tackle, and he does. And Baylor pretty good to the football, but not before Gresham picks up 5 or 6. It'll be a 3rd and short as Joe Pavelic, who is the leading tackler in the Big 12 and 4th in the nation.
Watch him
Been all over the field again today.
Yeah, you got pressure up front there. He almost grabs him, but Sam Bradford doing a good job getting rid of the football.
Vincent Rhodes putting the heat on him. Good pressure there. 3rd and 2 for Oklahoma with a 42-14 lead. Murray.
It's going to be close. Depends on the spot here where they put that football down.
Baylor's defense, 36th in the nation, giving up 314 yards total defense. Obviously, that surpassed the first half today, but big improvement both sides of the line. Brian Norwood's been a nice addition to the staff here, coming in with Art Briles. May measure.
Yeah, they'll measure this thing. Take a look to see what they have to get if need be for a 4th down for Oklahoma. Maybe a big defensive stop here for Baylor. Just short.
Yep, couple links again.
Well, what does Coach Stoops do here? You know, comfortably in the lead and still 4th down. Going to bring the big guys out there. Look like they're a heavy package. Jermaine Gresham coming back in the football game.
Well, you got to figure you got 398 yards on 50 plays. You ought to be able to pick up a couple links, right? Obviously, if they don't, possible momentum shift, even though Baylor is still down 4 touchdowns.
2 tight ends, 2 backs in the ball game, and 1 wide receiver for Oklahoma.
Baylor crowd trying to urge their defensive unit on here.
They can do a lot of things out of this personnel grouping.
Bradford. On the side. The 2 for 2 on 4th downs today. Bradford keeps it, and he has that easily with a push from the big fellas up front. So 1st and 10 Sooners with 8:51 to go in the 3rd quarter.
Quarterback just going to get his 1st down here, get behind your center. John Cooper back in the football game. 1 play out of the game. Jason Hannon came in for him.
Pitch to Murray on the 1st and 10. Brought down at the 35-yard line. Pavelic once again in on the stop. Senior or their junior out of San Antonio, played at Smithson Valley there in the San Antonio area.
We haven't seen those long explosive runs from DeMarco Murray. Had a 40-yarder against UT Chattanooga early on, and since then his longest run is 14 yards from scrimmage. You know, they like to get him on track to get some explosive plays when they run the football. He's a threat anytime he touches the ball, Bill, to take it the distance, take it the distance.
Yeah, and they keep it on the ground here, and you would think with the game in hand, at least for the moment, and Oklahoma with Texas next week, probably wanting to establish that run to continue to rotate those backs. And
more importantly, I think you take the pressure off your quarterback and negate the opportunity for the defense to put hits on him.
Yeah, he was sacked a couple of times last week by TCU. You know, TCU blitzed and blitzed and blitzed some more and got burned. They did get to him a couple of times.
Yeah, and they hit him low one time last week in that ball game, and Sam Bradford got up a little gingerly after that, but he's a tough young man. He's a competitor, got good size out there, so he can take a little pounding as well.
Sacked 4 times last week, but he threw for a career best 411 yards against the Horned Frogs. 2nd and 6 here. Bradford to throw. Across the middle, and it is complete as the Sooners move it into Baylor territory. Lake makes the tackle on Jameel Owens. It's his first reception of the day.
That's a pretty good job here coming inside. You know you're going to get contact. Nice protection on the outside. That's Trent Williams, the right tackle. And you see the contact here. And Jameel's a good target out there. Good size receiver for him. 6'3", 200-pound freshman. So getting some playing time.
Well, we're talking about spreading things around. Coming in here today, Sam Bradford had thrown passes to 16 different receivers in just 4 ball games. It's just, you talk about spread offense and not being able to concentrate any one guy. Oklahoma's just got a ton of receivers.
Yeah, and you look at the touchdowns on the board today. You got 7 scores for Oklahoma. Excuse me. Yeah, 6 scores for Oklahoma, and 6 different players have scored those touchdowns.
This one a little bit behind the intended receiver and goes incomplete. Crawford was covering on the play.
See his numbers on the day, 15 of 19. Pretty impressive there. And the 1 interception off the deflection by
could have been caught.
Yeah.
That Lake ended up being credited with the pick. 3rd and 9 now for the Sooners at the 43 of Baylor. Chaney wide left. Owens to the right side. Boyles in the slot. And over the middle looking for Eldridge and overthrown. Cody Eldridge in Kansas, all-conference first-teamer last year as a fullback without a carry.
Well, Jake Lamar comes in and hits the big fella. Contact. I think those big tight ends are used to dishing some out. And those safeties, they'll take their shots any time they get.
Bring on the kicking units here with a
first time we've seen the punting unit for Oklahoma.
Yeah, for Oklahoma, that's Mike Nalla, junior out of Scottsdale, Arizona.
Punt formation.
Nalla wants to pin this one, and he out of bounds. Around the 10. We'll see where they say it exited. Take care of that when we come back. Big 12 college football Saturday, all Oklahoma. .42-14, 3rd quarter here in Waco, Texas. Oklahoma in charge. Our free creditreport.com sideline report gives you the OU scoring drives, all 6 under 330, as Gary mentioned. All 6 different players scoring. FreeCreditReport.com providing that info. And Baylor following the punt went out of bounds. They bring it back on the run. Nicely done by Jay Finley as he's tackled by Clayton, but not after he gets 17 yards.
Yeah, a little option play here. You just bring it in underneath and quarterback hands off inside. Take a look at Finley. He reads it to him, zone read, and get your guard pulling around. Gets the linebacker, Reynolds, pinned to the inside, and that's your hole.
Finley came with 317 yards rushing, 8.1 per carry. Not many opportunities. White slips a tackle. First down across the 40-yard line. So back-to-back first down plays for this Baylor offense. One of the things that you coaches were telling us that Art Briles has got all kinds of formations and variations. He's changed some things here, even though they've been on the short side.
Yeah, 21-22 formations that they saw coming into the ball game that they were going to have to be prepared for. You know, just utilize different personnel groupings and how they deploy them on the field. So here you got an empty set here with Finley going out of the backfield.
Griffin keeps himself 50, 45, and Griffin dives down across the 40. Another 1st and 10. Lindy Holmes making the tackle, and Baylor very explosive on the first 3 plays. This one a 21-yarder.
You see the pressure inside there. That's what he's reading. The defensive tackle coming down inside, or defensive end rather, and Robert Griffin takes it around the edge. So taking the aggressiveness of Alan Davis down inside and making a huge play for his offense.
1st and 10 at the 38-yard line. Griffin get me out of here. There's the judgment that the young man will learn as his career moves on.
I think Jeremy Beal will look at this guy and say, how do I catch this man? He's throwing the ball up there and get it out of bounds. But 44, I tell you, Jeremy Beal has done a great job of rushing the quarterback all day, but he just hasn't gotten to him.
Throwing to our cart cameraman. It was Jeff Qualls down there.
Did you catch it, Jeff?
He was the intended receiver. Yeah. He's got good hands. Second down and 10 now. Ball at the 38. Finley slashes across the 30. Look at the strength and power. Not going to be run down until they cross the 25. And Keenan Clayton makes the tackle. Move the chains again.
Well, look at your two tackles, Jason Smith, 72, and Dan Gay at the end of this play, 72 and 71 respectively, helping his running back. Watch those guys push that pile. That's what you do, big fellas.
Baylor's coming out showing a little moxie here. 5-13 and counting in the third.
Run the football. That's kind of what they've been able to do against this Sooner defense. Passing game not so proficient.
5 plays, 64 yards on this drive. 1st and 10. And room to roam again. Turning the corner. And going out of bounds is Kendall Wright. And Wright step.
Coming into the ball game, Kendall Wright had rushed for 6 times. His longest run from scrimmage is 10 yards. This is going to be just about that, I think, when it's all said and done. But he steps out of bounds there a little before the contact came up. So he looked short of that 10 yards.
Give him 8, 2nd and 2. Wright, an outstanding athlete, state long jump, triple jump champ, Pittsburgh, Texas. True freshman's been impressive here today. And now Baylor taking advantage of that offensive line we told you about. That's a veteran group and just moving Oklahoma out all the way down to the 11-yard line. And another first down.
Well, what I saw last week with Oklahoma's defensive front, getting off of blocks, not happening right now inside. There's 2 defensive inside. Both of them being handled right now with this drive up front. J.D. Walton, the center, Harvey, the left guard, and James Barnard, the right guard, doing a nice job inside.
1st and 10 at the 11 for the Bears. Now it gets a little tougher. Griffin. Stiff arm one defender, but he strung him out long enough, and Lewis gets credit for the stop as he chased him out of bounds, and a loss on the play.
Well, you see the strength that the young man has also. You got a would-be tackler and Travis Lewis coming up trying to make the play on him. He just stiff arms and pushes him away. Robert Griffin's numbers on the day, over 100 yards rushing so far.
Griffin completing 60% of his passes. Number 10 in the nation in passing efficiency. That's taken a bit of a hit today. But right now he's got it 2nd and 11 at the 12-yard line. Up the middle. Door closed quickly.
Yeah, that was a quarterback draw all the way, Bill. Go ahead and spread everybody out and allow the quarterback to make something happen inside. And he's just trying to get everybody out. And the key guy he's watching is that guy out there. If he can get up inside right there, but the defense just reacts. They get off the blocks that time. And so they grab him by the ankles around the line of scrimmage.
Allen Davis there to make the stop for the Sooners. 3:20 and counting. 3rd quarter here, 3rd down and 9. Baylor fans of Lansing. They trail 42-14. Opportunity here. See what Griffith and crew do with it. Empty backfield on the run. Now looking to throw. Incomplete, looking for Thomas White.
Yeah, through that kind of an awkward position, got contacted very heavily by Allen Davis, number 95 for Oklahoma, as he threw that football.
Catching his breath.
I think he got him right between the 1 and the 0 on the contact there. So he comes up trying to get some air. So 4th down, going to bring the field goal unit on here for Baylor. That's hard for a quarterback to go to his left, throw that football on timing, and you might be a little more comfortable if you're going to recall that Coach Browse rolling to his right. He got the whole field in front of him, easier throwing motion for the quarterback.
Parks, the last one on the field for the field goal attempt here. On a 4th down and 9, 28-yarder. He's 2 of 3 this year from 20 and 23's made. And did the clock expire?
Well, kind of rare that you have
5-yard penalty, replay 4th down.
the last guy to know that you're going to kick a field goal is the kicker, and he's out there late. It happens.
Freshman from Argyle, Texas. You see, he's going, well, I haven't had a chance to kick many of them. We normally go for it. That ain't going to work with Coach.
The key word in that sentence that you had was freshman.
Freshman. So now it's a 33-yarder. Just saying, young man, I hope you make it for your sake. Certainly long enough. The kick is up, and it is good. Give them 3. 42-17 on Big 12 College Football Saturday, presented by KFC. Oklahoma bounds kick. Iglesias takes a knee in the end zone, and the Sooners will have it 1st and 10 on the 20-yard line. Beautiful day for football here in Waco, Texas at Floyd Casey Stadium. Not so beautiful for the Bears. They are down 42-17, but they do pick up a field goal after that drive where they had a lot of effective plays and moved the chains, and see if their defense can hold Oklahoma again.
You know, it's interesting when we talked to Coach Briles this week. You know, he made a statement to us that I really thought about quite a bit, and he said that, you know, they're part of the Big 12. And he says they don't want to be just part of the Big 12. They want to be players in the Big 12. Well, when you have a chance to run the football against a potent defense, the #1 defense in the Big 12 Conference, and the #1 rush defense, I think a pretty good statement for your football team, what your capabilities are. I think that they can build off that with this football team.
Moses Madu with the carry here. Shop with the company that supports college football, Overstock.com, at home with the O. Yeah, I would agree, Gary. And the one thing, and you get different things from different coaches, but it's so obvious in visiting with him what an incredible competitor he is. And he cuts his team no slack. He cuts the opponent. I respect everybody because I'm not worried about anybody but Baylor football.
Exactly right.
He doesn't look at how other people say, hey, if they did it, we can. No, he goes, we're Baylor. We've got to do what we can do. And he believes they can, as Pavelic makes the tackle here. One of the other things you like about him, and there's the quote that he gave, is that he's going, I don't have a 4-year, 5-year plan. We need to win this year. We need to make a statement. He goes, how's that fair to my seniors? Oh, we're looking down the road. And just think that he's kind of put a stamp on here. Guy Morris left the program in better shape than some thought, and they got a beautiful new facility that is being built, a practice and facility on campus that is going to help them in a lot of areas. And Art Briles seems to be the right guy to come in at the right time to give them a chance to compete in a terrific league. Complete to Manny Johnson here.
I mean, he knows it's a competitive conference, and I think he's up for the challenge. There's no doubt about that with Art Briles. When you talk to him, he's a competitor. He's the guy that's going to get his troops going the best he can, and he's going to recruit. I think that with his system that he's put in place here offensively, the defensive improvements you see with Brian Norwood, what they've made, overall, you're going to have some positive things here for Baylor in the near term.
1st 10 for Oklahoma, moving the change from their own 32. We're at 1:27 now in this 3rd quarter. Bradford hands it off, and spinning forward is Madu again to the 36-yard line. Madu last year 232 yards and 2 touchdowns, coming in here today at 129 and 2 scores. As Patton had made the tackle on him that time, and Murray replaces him. 2nd and 6 coming up.
See Oklahoma running the ball quite a bit more today. It's kind of the nature of the defense too, Bill. They're a little bit more vanilla. They're blending back there. They're playing too deep or quarters defense.
Murray, both players taking a pop there, offense and defense, as Murray will get the 1st down for the Sooners to the 45-yard line of Oklahoma. Yeah. And Lamar coming off, not moving that arm.
Yeah, Jake Lamar, number 12, will come in and make a pretty good contact right here. I've got a numb right shoulder, I think, as he comes off the field. Maybe a stinger. Hopefully that's all it is.
Well, he's an important part of their defense. Come in with 25 and 14 tackles on the year. Eldridge in motion, sets up to the left to lead the blocking, and Murray scoots right up the middle across midfield to the 49 of Baylor. Oklahoma shooting for their 5th consecutive win of the season as they opened up blowing out Chattanooga, then beat Cincinnati at Washington, which you look at Washington now and you're thinking, so what? At the time, they were coming off that controversial loss to BYU, and they throttled them 55-14, and then last week pounded TCU 35-10. We'll take a break. End of the third, 42-17. Welcome back, 42-17 Oklahoma as we start the fourth quarter on Big 12 College Football Saturday, presented by KFC. Bill Land, Gary Reasons with you here in Waco at Floyd Casey Stadium. Oklahoma with the ball to start the final quarter. And the Sooners have 2nd and 4. Bradford play action and complete to Iglesias, who's passed the 2,000-yard mark in receiving yards in his career at OU. He's got a touchdown today. First down chain mover there. And our game summary today, as you take a look at some of the numbers, rushing Baylor 185, very impressive. They have not been able to throw it much, and Oklahoma's done pretty much whatever they've wanted with a 466 total yards, Gary.
Yeah, but only 3 of 12 on third down for Baylor. That's not been productive offensively, keeping the defense on the field too much.
Number 34,
Clapp with the ball carrier that time, and it'll set up a 2nd and long. Moses Madu.
It looks like Kevin Wilson just deciding to run the football here, take the pressure off his quarterback, and now 3rd and 7, almost 8 yards here on this play. And more than likely Sam Bradford going to throw the football.
So Oklahoma with Texas next week at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. Baylor will face Iowa State. The last check was after a 20-0 lead against Kansas, was trailing to the Kansas Jayhawks in the fourth quarter. There's 6 ranked teams in the Big 12 playing the 6 unranked in this first weekend of conference play. Bradford to Madu, trying to dance around the defender and lead, and not much doing, and a loss in the play, so the Baylor defense.
Strange play call on 3rd and long.
Bryan made the tackle on that play. Yeah, no chance on that one.
No, didn't get it down the field, didn't get it have a chance to move the chains there.
So Null comes on to punt again. With 13 minutes, 5 seconds counting here. He had a 31-yard punt, went out of bounds on his first punt of the day. Snap a little offline. He tries to put it in the coffin corner. Sails into the end zone. It will come out Baylor ball on the 20-yard line when we come back. AFC's College Football Saturday from the Big 12, 42-17 Sooners. Sooners 42, Baylor 17. Our freecreditreport.com sideline report. And some numbers on Sam Bradford. 302 passing yards. Whether he's done or not, we'll see. 4 straight game of 300+ for Bradford. He's thrown for a couple TDs today. Threw for 5 3 weeks ago. And 411 last week as far as total yardage. A career best, and a great afternoon here today. Our freecreditreport.com sideline report. 15 yards on this pickup as Griffith is trying to bring him back the other way. And it's 1st and 10 at the 35 for Robert Griffin, the freshman quarterback for the Baylor Bears.
Yeah, showed they can move the football against this OU defense. They've done it primarily running the ball. The passing game hasn't been as stellar, but Baylor's shown some good things in this football game.
Griffin hands off this time. The OU defense right there. And Finley getting nothing. Cordero Moore makes the tackle for Oklahoma, junior from Mesquite, Texas, out of Mesquite Horn High School.
He's been in there quite a bit today.
Yeah, I get a chance to see some of their depth and rotate a lot of people. Normally do anyway. They bring it back here on the reverse and out of bounds, shy of the first down. Play never had a chance to really develop as they stretched it out. Baker on the carry. Travis Lewis makes the tackle.
Like trying to turn the corner here on your run of the 400. You got to come around that corner and win that curve. Sooners got him on the side there. Travis Lewis showing he's pretty speedy as well.
Third and 4 at the 41-yard line. Oklahoma in its first week of being number 1 this year. And 96th overall, more than any other school. And doing nothing to tell you that they'd be anything less. Almost an INT here. Intended receiver was Geddes. And Jackson stepping in front nearly picked it off.
Nice job that time by Brian Jackson, taking his upfield arm and getting it on the football. Didn't get that right hand around to try to make that interception, but he's played well today. I like Brian Jackson as a player. I think he's a good leader out there, and he's a hitter as well, Bill.
And no question about that. Baylor's going to have to kick it away, so Epperson comes on. And 4th and 4, the 41-yard line. High kick, fair catch called for. Let it go. Baylor will down it inside the 10-yard line. And Frank got away from it, and Oklahoma will go a long way to add to that total after a 51-yard punt. Nation's #1 team, Oklahoma, rolling over Baylor 42-17. Fourth quarter action here. Our Best Buy connection today. But the opening series, Manuel Johnson on a 53-yard pass play from Sam Bradford.
An impressive day here for Manuel Johnson once again. That's our Best Buy big play of the football game, and that came early.
Johnson, Big 12 Player of the Week for his record-setting performance last week. Picking up where he left off. This one is complete to the Tunnel, and junior out of Irving, Texas, and Coffee makes the stop as Oklahoma with 10:51 to go, and Bradford and crew
got all three backup receivers in the football game. Iglesias, Boyles, and Cheney out of the game.
Brown taking some pops, but still getting some positive yardage and close to the first down. We'll see where they mark the football. Chris Francis making the tackle. We mentioned Sam Bradford, another 300-yard passing day. Time to fourth quarter get into the Heisman talk. He's certainly one of the candidates from the Big 12. There's no question of that. This year, the quarterback, as he drills another completion. This one to Cheney.
Well, you look at his production, Bill. You look at his accuracy, what he's done with the football. Interception ratio, touchdown interception ratio is just off the chart. So he's definitely going to be a contender when it comes to the Heisman voting in December.
And the other two obvious picks are Colt McCoy and then Chase Daniel. Batted, and then Bradford slaps it back down to the ground.
He didn't want to have the pass and the reception.
Yeah, that's right.
He could have had it.
And be adding a new receiver to his list. We mentioned he had 16 coming in. He goes, now I got 17 now. Overstock.com's prices are so low you can afford to buy something for your friends too. Overstock.com, at home with the O. It would really be creative. Second down and 10 from the 31-yard line for Bradford. Time incomplete. Just off of Owen's hands as he tried to make the grab. Of course, Colt McCoy in Texas will play tonight in Colorado. Another college football Saturday special. One game in the Rocky Mountains, Colorado. Last year got Oklahoma prior to the Oklahoma-Texas meeting. This year they try to pull off the upset with Texas before the big Red River rivalry game. Complete. Coming across the side and out of bounds is Brown. Jones the tackle.
Chris Brown getting that first down for Oklahoma. Sam Bradford tossing out there. And we'll take a look at our Heisman hopefuls here. And in the Big 12, you got Graham Harrell, no doubt. And since last season, this is the touchdown pass leaders that they have. And all these guys have had pretty impressive years. But I think the guys that are in the hunt for the that Heisman race. Colt McCoy not on that list. We're talking about touchdown passes there, but he certainly needs to be on that list because he and Sam Bradford, Chase Daniel, those are the 3 top front runners, I believe, from the Big 12.
Yeah, I don't think there's. It's fun when you hear the talk around the country about the Big 12 and its strength, its offense, and then when people say, all right, it's Big 12 or SEC, you talk about defense. 2 very different leagues this year.
Yeah, they really are. The SEC, you got phenomenal defensive fronts and defensive linemen that are just very athletic. And in the Big 12, the numbers are huge with what these teams are doing. Almost all the teams, there's not very many teams not playing some version of the spread offense, and really have opened up the offensive numbers pretty extensively.
Bradford drills this one right down the middle and complete to Brandon Caleb, sophomore from Richmond, Virginia. And a 20-yard pickup. So Oklahoma, about the time they go, all right, maybe they just run this thing out. It's like, no, all right, let's pick it up here again, go through the air, and they come right back with Madu on the ground, and he takes it down to the 31-yard line before Trey Bryant, a junior out of Dallas. Richardson High School makes the tackle. Coffee also there, and the Sooners knocking on the door again.
Yeah, what Brian Norwood, the defensive coordinator, has decided to do with Baylor today in this football game is play pretty much a bend but don't break style of defense, except for the long pass early in the ball game. Emmanuel Johnson, they haven't given up a huge play down the field. They're playing a lot of zone coverage behind. They got some safeties deep, trying to stack the box and slow down the run game. It really hasn't been too effective against Oklahoma. They've ran the ball pretty well all day today.
Purdue tried to make one more juke slip, but he still moves the chains on 11-yard pickup and down to the 20-yard line. It is 1st and 10, Oklahoma.
Down from the 20.
Bradford. Caleb breaks it. 10, 5, and bumped out of bounds around the 2. What a hit he delivered, though.
That'll be home room for the Sooners when they take a look at that play. Brandon Caleb showing that he's got a little bit of pop on the outside. Good size, Bill. He's about almost 200 pounds. You got now the hit that he made on the defensive back prior to that was what I was talking about. Not his contact going out of bounds, but pretty impressive there by Caleb running after the catch.
And Caleb only had 2 receptions for 15 yards coming in. You want to earn more in playing time? Do something like that. Coaches will take notice. 1st and goal from the 3. Murray, as he slide into the end zone, waiting for the signal.
He just had his hand on the backside of Big George Duke Robinson coming around pulling guard, and says, let me get my hand on your hip and I'm going to follow you through the hole. Going to set that just short of the goal line, I believe. We're talking about Brandon Caleb, being physical, catching the football. Watch this. He just goes right through one of the defenders.
And then Oklahoma quickly comes up, and Murray walks into the end zone time. So they get it one way or another. And Marco Murray gets his 2nd TD of the day, the first player to score twice for Oklahoma, and the Sooners lead it 48-17.
A quick little get up the line of scrimmage there, and then you pull the backside guard this time. Same play, just the opposite side. This time with Brandon Walker coming around leading the way.
Stevens comes on. PAT, he had missed today, stays perfect and makes it 49-17. Murray's got 96 yards rushing and 2 TDs. College Football Saturday is presented by KFC and the KFC $10 Challenge. 7 pieces of KFC original recipe, large side and biscuits, $9.99. Life tastes better with KFC. And brought to you in part by Emporio Armani Diamonds for Men, the new fragrance. The Sooners and Murray with a 49-17 lead for the nation's top-ranked team, and 7:51 remaining in this contest here at Floyd Casey Stadium. They had to go 92 yards and only took 3:17 in 13 plays. And Marco Murray got his 2nd TD of the afternoon. Top-ranked Oklahoma continues to roll, and coming in here, Oklahoma's never lost to Baylor, 17-0, and they're going to maintain that. And the kick is down in the end zone. 1st and 10 at the 20. And let's check in with Mike Goldberg for a little game break.
Well, the story of the Jayhawks' demise was greatly over-exaggerated, Bill. Number 16, Kansas, scored the first 28 points of the second half at Iowa State. Todd Reesing in the second half, 3 touchdowns, 260 yards. About 3 minutes left. The Jayhawks lead 35-26.
All right, quite a comeback for the Jayhawks. Thanks very much, Mike. Oklahoma here taking care of business. No scare for the Sooners as far as the ranked teams in the league go. Reynolds makes the stop here.
You talk about Robert Griffin, Bill, in his football game, and what kind of quarterback is he? Who would you compare him to? Who is he? A little bit different than a lot of quarterbacks, and he's that dual threat guy. Is he kind of like a Brad Smith that came on the scene with Missouri a couple of years back, and that kind of an athlete? And
maybe a little bigger, a little stronger, but the same kind of style, I think. And I think he throws the ball a little better.
Well, I think you got to throw that Vince Young factor in there. He's that kind of elusive with the football, but I think he may be a better passer than Vince Young.
6'3", 200-pounder Griffin hands it off here on a 2nd and long, and Reynolds makes the tackle.
You know, he's still got aspirations of getting to the Olympics in 2012, or getting out to London. You know, didn't make that Olympic squad this time around. Just a little bit shy, but did a great job. The Big 12 championships, winning that as a true freshman, coming in this past spring, into Baylor.
Yeah, and you graduate from high school in December, come in, compete in track and field, spring football, and then you're out here, and in your very first college football game, you played very well against Wake Forest, and now he is the guy. Well, it's 3rd and 7 for him here. He's going to see if those wheels as he heads to the sideline and out of bounds. Did he step and get? Yeah, I got the first down, I believe. We'll have to see remarks now. Here's the Big 12 championship of the 400-meter hurdles last spring.
Yeah, picking him up and putting him down, and you see Robert Griffin. He's in the white, and he's going to be in the lead, and he's going to finish this race ahead of the rest in the Big 12. And had our cameraman, what I'm talking about, that's not a hard race. This is the most grueling thing I could ever imagine in sports. Have you ever run a 400 meters and had to jump over hurdles at the same time? Did a great job there winning that race, and just a young guy and got a bright future.
May have to take our game crew and set up their own little hurdles here.
That might have been Dave talking about that. We'll have to get this Dave.
And Jerry, I think.
Number 3, the offense.
Yeah, make sure we get tape of that for you on our next show. 6:21 to go here. Mentioned Oklahoma in the series, going to be 18-0 against Baylor. There's one other school they're unbeaten with after 17+ games. You remember that? Check your trivia knowledge here. This one batted away. Kingfisher College, they're 19-0-3 against.
Well, I'm glad
Got to go back.
Gave us that, Bill. I appreciate that. Beal knocking that ball away. This defensive front, you know, we talked about Coach Stoop last week in that game with TCU, giving the 4 starting defensive linemen game balls, and I was very impressed with them last week, and I think they played pretty well today. They're athletic. Get some of the reserves in there now, but the defense for Oklahoma is pretty salty, I think.
2nd and 15 coming on the near sideline, and it is incomplete. As looking for Romy Blaylock. Griffin is the leading rusher for both teams today. 111 yards and 20 carries and a pair of scores. And when you do it, you know, people can say, well, all right, you know, against Washington State, they're struggling, whatever, some of these others. Hey, you're doing it against Oklahoma. I know, and no one questions this kid's ability. And I think sometimes what goes unnoticed is how intelligent he is, and just his savvy and how well he's adapted to this level so quickly. No adaptation here as Oklahoma hammers him on the sack. Whistle dead at the 15-yard line. But that's what concerns me. How many of those can you take week in and week out in the Big 12?
Yeah, that's a backside blitz there by Keenan Clayton. The linebacker coming. Well, he comes from the second level. I'm not sure that Robert Griffin can even account for him. He's 4 or 5 yards deep in the coverage. So then he comes late. Look at the numbers today for Clayton. Been around the football, don't you think? 14 tackles.
Wow, what an afternoon for Keenan. Now that'll put Griffin below the 100-yard mark rushing, because sacks count as rushing totals. Here's a good punt by Epperson, and it is caught by Oklahoma at the Just shy of the 40-yard line. Royals taking care of business. We're back with more. 5:18 remaining here. 49-17 Sooners. All smiles for Sam Bradford. Sooners comfortable lead. Our touch of gray winning touch is the touch of Sam Bradford as the sophomore. Huge again today, and he is done for this afternoon as Joey Halsley comes on, and right away comes out throwing. Halsley, a senior out of Huntington Beach, California, has thrown for 135 yards, completing 79% of his passes this season, and he connects from the get-go with Owens. There's his work on the season.
He's played in every ball game and just kind of in a role similar to this at the end of games.
And hands it off on the 2nd and 5. As the Sooners gear up for Texas next week in Dallas. And after that, it's Kansas and then at Kansas State. So the meat grinder that will be the Big 12 Conference is going to show us some interesting stuff every Saturday. 3rd and 2 now for the Sooners. Owens wide right as Halsley checks for the signals. Moses Madu across midfield before he is stopped with 4:15 remaining.
Well, I think Bob Stoops is content with having his offense out there and not being too cute with things, trying to throw the ball down the field, but they'll run it. They'll try to be effective and got that first down, try to keep the clock moving here, and they'll put points on the board if they can.
Well, and obviously you got to get some time for Halsley, as you mentioned. He's played in every game, because if you do have an injury to Sam Bradford like they did last year in the Texas Tech game, Halsley actually came in and played very well, even though they lost. Threw for 291 yards in that loss to Tech. And we were talking, Gary, earlier this week about all these great quarterbacks in the Big 12. Which school could least afford to lose their #1 guy? And anymore, with the way guys go down, you have to consider that thought. And it's interesting when you start going down the rosters and who's able to play and who's got backups and how these teams play. And one thing with Oklahoma is they are probably the most balanced of these spread offense teams, wouldn't you say?
I think they are, because you can insert a quarterback there. They don't ask their quarterbacks to run that much like some of these teams do. You take Texas with Colt McCoy, and I think he's very instrumental to his team, but he is also a runner back there, and he's their leading rusher at this point. And you take even Chase Daniel with Missouri. He's a capable runner, and he does pull it down and run quite a bit. So those two guys, I think they're the ones that I would think would be the ones where, if they were lost, they would mean the most to their teams. Colt McCoy and Chase Daniel.
3rd and 7. 3:15 to go. Halsley taking the snap. Madu, he's got the first down. Across the 40 down to the 39, maybe the 38-yard line for Madu.
A good little stretch play there. The offensive line just gets on their blocks, and Madu just kind of picks through. That's kind of the design of it. Talk about that Texas game coming up tonight. They got the Buffaloes up in Boulder. Can't misstep, because they got a big date coming up next weekend. They got to take care of business first, and that Mac Brown has got his team focused.
Well, they've been impressive in their non-conference play, the way they've hammered everybody from UTEP to Arkansas. Colorado's played the more difficult schedule, so you kind of put that in the balance as you take a look at how those two match up. But what else can you do other than hammer people like these two teams have done so far? Next week, they'll settle their own little question as the top team in the country, OU, and #5 Texas. If the Sooners or if the Longhorns are victorious against Colorado tonight, there you see how even that series has been. That little second line, 4 of the last 8 had one team in the BCS championship game. That is more than impressive.
Does that game mean anything?
Yeah.
I think it does.
At a new and expanded or renovated Cotton Bowl. It will be quite a scene in Dallas next week. Handoff on the 2nd and 9. And again, it's Madu. Rhodes makes the tackle.
Well, for Art Briles' team, I'm sure that he's probably seen some good things in this football game. Obviously, the ability of Robert Griffin and Jay Finley, they did a decent job running the football when they needed to, and did at times against Oklahoma's defense. But throwing the football wasn't going to be happening for them today, and the Sooners did a good job in the secondary and kind of took that passing game away from them. They made them one-dimensional, made Baylor try to run the ball to win the contest.
Here's Halsey back to throw on 3rd and 6, and it's incomplete. Looking for Hannah on the play. Yeah, I think if Baylor has a major disappointment, it would be, and there's no shame in it, but Art Briles expects to compete with everybody.
Yeah.
But you're down 28-0 before you can blink in the first quarter. That's been OU's MO.
Well, you got to be execution sound, and what I mean by that is you've got to click off some first downs. They didn't get that done early in the ball game against Oklahoma. And they got out to a quick lead. Pretty comfortable most of the ball game.
Nall is on to punt here. He stands inside the 50 at the 49. Try the pooch punt. Angles it toward the sideline and knocked down. Nicely done by Oklahoma. They're going to mark that ball at the 2-yard line. So terrific job by Oklahoma, and they're wanting to improve on that special teams work. And they did a nice job there on a 33-yard kick. And Baylor will have to go 98 yards and 112 if they want to score again.
Yeah, he's out of bounds and touches the football. Not sure that that's a penalty or not, but
don't show that. They might review it.
No, we don't need to go there.
With 112 to go, Baylor will take over. Blake Szymanski comes on the quarterback in the final minute. Junior out of Wichita Falls, Rider High School. Szymanski, the starter last year. Some season marks with 28-44 passing yards, 57%. Had 22 touchdowns and 18 picks. He's 3 of 6 for 18 this year. You see his career numbers there.
He was really competing in the offseason or in the fall camp with Kirby Freeman and also Robert Griffin for that starting spot. Hope to gain that spot back, but with Robert Griffin emerging on the scene in that first game against Wake Forest and just being an exceptional, talented player out there, I think that Coach Briles has decided to go with the young freshman. For Blake Szymanski, he's their number 2. If something were to happen to Robert Griffin, then the reins of this team would be handed over to him.
Reynolds again been out there all day making great stops. Stops this one here, and with 22 seconds to go, we'll see if Baylor decides to run one more play or calls it an afternoon, as the Bears are going to fall to 2-3, 0-1 in the Big 12. Oklahoma, number 1 in the country, 5-0, 1-0 in the league. And the Sooners, Bob Stoops, a convincing 49-17 victory here this afternoon. They did what they needed to do when they had to do it.
No doubt about it. They're a powerful football team. Their quarterback's playing at exceptionally high level. Sam Bradford, and tossed it around the yard. Manuel Johnson had another big touchdown today. Good news for them is they got the running game going in Oklahoma with Moses Madu and DeMarco Murray and Chris Brown.
Bradford and crew were impressive in front of a lot of Sooner fans here in Waco. Coming up later, College Football Saturday presented by KFC lands in Boulder as the number 5 Texas Longhorns face the Colorado Buffaloes. From here in Waco at Floyd Casey Stadium, this is for Gary Reasons. Bill Land saying so long for our entire College Football Saturday crew. We'll see us next time as Oklahoma wins at 49-17.